guess I'm not as good at streaming as I thought. Okay, I had another program running. Trying to reset all my settings. Looks like I gotta reboot the whole computer. Oh well, that's not gonna work out. So after I come back, gotta reboot the whole computer, man. Something took over. Gotta reboot. There's sound? Sure, now you tell me. I was just about to reboot. I don't hear the sound coming back on my thing, though. I'm trying to watch my own feed. Of course, I don't know the lag time here. Really? You got sound there? You guys are just putting me on. Nonsense. Yeah, I should have bought more here. Anyways, I'll have to start over with my high drama production here. I could listen to this on a loop, so it wouldn't bother me.
Paper came in. Huge paper sellers coming through here, guys. We got fast market up on the boards here once again. We have seen some big paper sellers coming in. It all started out up above around 38 even here now, guys, talking about 25 handles of solid sell-side activity here, guys. They have just peased the limit down.
Oh, yeah, by the way, the stock market opened 9 minutes ago. That's why you see this crazy drama here off this round number. And so when that's the 1 minute chart. Anyways, sorry. High drama intro there with, but I'm happy for you because you missed my guitar licks. I was trying to describe the market in terms of music. Everybody wants a song, a trend. Like my guitarist said to me, bass player said, "Take me home." Because we normally play such sporadic, insane, fucking chaotic, jamming, fusion shit that here looks like a good buy here. So I like this trade, like I was saying earlier, it wasn't going out. Then on the half hour, oops, okay, so there's another thing, the broker's not letting me putting any more orders in here. And this script doesn't kill itself because this is an old script that I have running here. And so last video I just put up there is about this one broker's platform. Okay, so I got the buy limits here, and I do like this trade on the half hour from the pullback. So where the audio is missing. I guess you have to fast forward to find the... What the problem is, I was recording and the software took over, and I unplugged one of the sound modules to go through a different patch. And then, of course, in Windows, there's stacking, and there's like, okay, you pull something out of the dock, and Windows thinks that it's still there. And you're like, okay, it's not there. Dude, it's gone. Here also, I can't put any more orders in this one broker. I have to wait for this to play out. But I think for me, I know exactly what my scripts would do here. I would buy here on limits for 15 minutes if they would let me put the orders in, but they don't. And this is another kind of like broker imposed discipline where the broker's forcing you to behave within a not over trading. And the other broker might allow you to throw in 2,000 tickets with an EA. So everybody has their own... like snowflakes, every broker's unique. It looks like I'm going to get filled on this yen. We're crushing down, and I'm down $15 right now, or 15 cents, whatever. It wouldn't matter, but it's about getting this buy low, sell high thing going here. We still got the rest of the day. Market's been open for almost 15 minutes now. Look at this terrible clunky clock I started out with. Let me reduce this. It's too big. It's taking up too much real estate. I don't know why the zoom key is not the first choice here. It's painfully obvious the zoom key should be the first choice. Probably crude oil coming out of 10, whatever bullshit. Doesn't matter. Because what matters is, are you going to buy this on a pullback? I'm presupposing you're not going to use the 618 bullshit, and you're going to deny yourself the freedom of getting in willy-nilly down here. I'm down 12. I don't know if I got stopped out. I haven't been watched back, but I think I got stopped out of something here. This is where she kisses you at the front door. Okay, you can come in. Her head tilts one side. And then you're like, do you mind if I bring my keg of beer? Oh, you're a swing trader, are you? Yeah, I like to go for giant intervals. Until it goes terribly wrong like it did here on the futures market in 2009 March.
Down in the S&Ps would be 1053 even. So we still have a solid 60 handles of range left. Here they come to selling again. 9.5 straight night, 20 straight night, even straight here now, guys. 8 halves are trading as well. Once again, guys, they're going to get it in 8 halves trade. 8 even offer. 7 even offer. 6 halves are trading here now. 6 evens are trading. 5 evens are trading here now. Once again, 5 evens do trade here. You're going to get a new 5 even offer comes in. 4 evens are trading here now. 3 evens are trading here now. 3 even here now. You're going to get a low print of 1103 even. Guys, 2 half offer. 2 evens are trading here now. Once again, I'm offered at 3 even here now. 2 half, but I'm at 3 half. 3 for here, guys. All evens are trading. The figure prints are trading. 9 halves are trading here now. Once again, we got figure trade here now. Once again, we are trading 1100 even. Guys, we are 64 handles lower on the day here now, guys. 9.
He's having a hard time with the market there.
Halves trade. 9 even offer comes in here now, guys. Once again, 9 evens are trading here now, guys. Offered at a figure here, guys. Once again, 9 evens are 1053. Once again, 8 evens trade. 98 even bid at even here, guys. Once again, 8 even bid at even. That's a 98 even bid. 98s are trading here now. 97 halves are trading here now. Once again, 97 evens are trading here, guys.
Oh man, poor Ben. Ben's a little wrapped up in that price action.
96 halves trade, 96 evens trade, 94 evens are trading, 94 evens are trading.
Oh my God, it's...
Guys, once again, 4 half offer,
there you go.
4 even offer, 3 halves do trade. 93 evens are trading, 92 evens are trading here now, guys. 91 evens are trading, 89s are trading, 88 halves are trading, 87 evens are trading, 86 evens are trading, 85 evens are trading here now, guys, all the way down. 84 evens are trading here now, guys. 82 evens are trading. Paper comes in a big seller. 81 evens are trading here now, guys. 79s are trading. You got 79s trading here now. Once again, 78s are trading. 6s are trading. 76 evens are trading here now, guys. 75 evens are trading. 4 evens. 3 evens are trading here. 2 evens are trading. 72 evens just traded. Once again, guys, we are big time even bid here now, guys. 72 even offer. 68 evens are trading. Guys, 70 even bid here now. Once again, 70 evens trade. 71 even bid here now. With the 72 evens are trading.
You should see the wick on this 1 minute chart. It just spiked down. I mean,
guys, 70 over here. Offered at 70 even offer here now, guys. Once again, 70 even offer. 65 even offer here now, guys. Once again.
Oh my God.
Offered at 72. Offered at 70, 60 even bid at 70 even offer here now, guys. 60 even bid at 70 even offer here now, guys. 60 even bid. Guys, 60 even bid here now, guys. This is the widest we have seen this in years. 60 even bid. I got 64 evens trading. 64 evens are trading. 60, 70 evens are trading. 70 evens are trading here now, guys. Once again, we made it within handles of a limit offer here, guys. 75 evens are trading. 70 even bid at 75 even offer here right now, guys. 70 even bid. Here comes Morgan Stanley to sell. Morgan Stanley comes in and sells 100 cars here. 75 evens are trading. Guys, once again, 75 even offer.
It's more people
guys.
watching with no audio.
Offer. 69's trade. 70 even bid here now, guys. 70 even bid at 80. 70. Stop
Ben's
it. It's got to hit a limit.
take a break.
73 even bid here now, guys. 73 even bid. 70 even bid here now, and I'm at 72. 70 even bid at 75. 72 even offer coming in. 72 even offer coming in. 72 even offer coming in here now. 72's trade. 75 even offer is the best I have here for you right now, guys. Once again, at 75. Guys, this is probably the craziest I've seen it down here ever. Guys, that blue figure was absolutely nuts. 77 even bid here now, guys. 77 even bid at 80 even offer. 78 even offer here now, guys. 78 even offer. 80 even straight here. 80 even bid. 80.
There's still 5 more minutes of that. Now it's retracing. Ben Lichtenstein. Check out this price chart now. This is quite the amazing. Look at this. Amazing. So it's just an incredible retracement here. A 1 minute chart. 2010 they're saying crash, but it says 2006 in the comments.
Stop it, it's got to hit a limit. 70.
Stop it, it's got to hit a limit. I think there's any copyright infringement here on this.
5 even offer. Once again, we are 10 handles wide. 88 even bidding on who even offer. Once again, I'm at 88 even bidding on now 92 even.
I love when he digs down and it's amazing. Ben goes like fucking full demon possession. This is why trading is so evil. Listen to his voice shift to like demonic price quoting.
Even bid at 95 even offer. Once again, we are 10 handles wide. 88 even bidding on who even offer. Once again, I'm at 88 even bidding on now 92 even.
See where he digs down there?
Evens are trading are now once again 92 even.
Oof.
Do trade. 90 even video now, and I'm at 92 even.
Oh man, you can be okay, Ben?
Offer here now once again 90 even video.
Dude.
Now 91 even video now once again. I'm offered at 92.
No, Empower Trading has nothing on this guy. Anybody, I mean, this guy is just laying down as it's coming at him. He's quoting it. Amazing. I think he's looking at I don't think he's looking at the chart. He's just looking at the numbers. Ticker reading.
90 even video now, guys. Trading. 88 halves are trading here now. Once again, 88 halves do trade.
They do trade. Like he doubted they were going to trade.
At 95 even offer here now, guys. 85.95 right now. 85 bid at 95. Solomon coming in on the offer. He's doing some selling here now, guys. Once again, starting to quiet down.
Sometimes quiet down. Beautiful. I think I'm streaming. I don't know, because, you know, the audio's been iffy. I had more viewers when they had no audio. When the audio came on, people bailed, so maybe we should have left no audio.
Trading 84 even are trading, 83 even are trading, 85 even are trading here now, guys. I'm off of that 87.
Wow, he just takes a breath there, finally. I can't even see my streams, not even updating properly. I don't know. It's all fucked up. Page isn't working. Oh, YouTube's all fucked up. YouTube went down the other day. I was having an anxiety attack. Okay, it's back, I guess. Go, Ben.
Once again, I'm at 82 even.
Empowered trading. Well, empowered trading's so funny because they're into that. They're really into the Gartley stuff, which I think is just hysterical. The more I think about a cipher and a batwing, the more you just have to giggle. But they're laughing all the way to the bank, I guess. Like, does anybody see a Gartley? You hear Ben. This guy's not calling out 618. He's calling out like the end of the world on this. Look at that retracement, man. Look at, like right here, Ben he about blew his goiter out right here on this. He's digging down again here. 7 minutes in, he's going for like
85 even video now. I'm at 90 even off here now.
He does sound like he's selling cattle though at a fucking auction.
Once again, I'm at 85 even at 90. 90 even start trading here now, guys. Once again, I'm at 85.
Some guy digged down and found this is a new the original I have of this is with the blue chart, and somebody dug down and found 10 minutes of this thing because the original of this is only 7.
Here now, I'm at 90. 85 bid here now. Once again, I'm at 90 even offer here now, guys. 85 bid. Guys, 86 even bid. 86 even bid here now.
Now Ben's recovering here. This is the most insane was here. As you're coming into here, we don't know what's coming next, and here's when Ben comes unwrapped. These spikes get insane here. Hindsight.
Even bid here now with the 72 evens are trading.
Ben can't believe it.
Guys, 70 over here. Offer that 70 even offer here now, guys. Once again, 70 even offer.
How do we know Ben's not having sex while reading? It sounds like he's...
5 even offer here now, guys. Once again. Offer that 72. Offer that 70, 60 even bid at 70 even offer here now, guys.
So here the spread there is 10. He's saying 60 to 70. 70 offer ask.
60 even bid.
Insane. I mean, insane.
At 70 even offer.
So we're only seeing the bid, and he's calling out the ask.
Here now, guys. 60 even bid. Guys, 60 even bid here now, guys. This is the widest we have seen this in years. 60 even.
The widest. And I'm thinking he's talking about the spread.
Bid. I got 64 even.
The widest spread he's seen in years. Amazing.
Trading. 64 evens are trading.
So this is where retail people appetite stops just getting crushed.
60, 70 evens are trading. 70 evens are trading here now, guys. Once again, we made it within handles of a limit offer here, guys. 75 evens are trading. 70 even bid at 75 even offer here right now, guys. 70 even bid. Here comes Morgan Stanley to sell.
Stanley to sell. So Morgan Stanley comes in here. So there's the big boys. They're coming in here. Yeah, it's just amazing. This is just amazing. I could watch this on a loop. This just, I mean, you could study the whole Morgan Stanley's coming in here, and well, maybe they're getting out there. Somebody bought. Look at this 1 minute smash down. 1 minute? No, this is got to be like a fucking 10-second chart or something. This is a 10-minute video. These are just like this, is like either a tick chart or just a 10-second chart.
Morgan Stanley comes in and sells 100 cars here. 75.
This is a tick chart. This is just shit coming in. We can't see the ass though.
5 evens are trading. Guys, once again, 75 even offer here now, guys. 70 even offer. 69's trade. 70 even bid here now, guys. 70 even bid at 80. 70. Stop it. It's got to hit a limit. 73 even bid here now, guys. 73 even bid. 70 even bid here now. I'm at 72. 70 even bid at 75. 72 even offer coming in.
So the next number is the ass. So he's in bid, and then he goes, okay, at. What do you got to pay for
72
it?
even offer coming in. 72 even offer coming in here now. 72's trade. 75 even offer is the best I have here for you right now, guys. Once again, at 75.
Best I have for you right now, guys. So right now, as it's unfolding, Anybody selling here thinking it's going to go lower? Anybody trapped in this thing?
Guys, this is probably the craziest I've seen it down here ever. Guys, that move through the figure was absolutely nuts. 77.
Absolutely nuts. This is a gold mine of commentary. You can just take snippets from this and string it together in some crazy ass sentence.
Yeah, now, guys, 77 even bid at 80 even offer. 78 even offer here now, guys. 78 even offer.
Look at the volume coming out of that. Now look at the volume come in and drive the tick chart. And look how tight that thing's unfolding. It's incredible. It's just amazing.
80 even straight here. 80 even bid. 81 even bid. 84 even.
So now his attitude, now that it's going up, his voice changes a little inflection there. I noticed he's a little more hopeful, a little more. But when he was digging down for those low prices in his voice, demonic quoting.
85 even bid. 87 even bid. No offers in the pit here. 91 even bid. No offers in the pit.
So no offers in the pit. If you didn't get in, you can't get in. Apparently you cannot get in now. No, everybody's holding on. Nobody's going to sell to you.
They just traded the figure. Once again, they're trying to get up.
Now they come up back into technically the floor here. Right here, I don't have my drawing tool for this thing, but right here, carry that across. I figure that's where, like, here's where people are like, well, it can't go any lower. Then the wheels come off here, and down here it's just psychotic spreads. So people are cashing out here. Morgan Stanley's getting out.
94 even bid here now, guys. About 95 here now. Once again, 94 even bid. Guys, 98 even's just traded there, guys. Once again, they're going to try and get the print in all the way up to 98 even there, guys. 91 even bid. 91 even bid out about 95 even offer here now.
He goes into his auction shit because it's like now it goes into a trading range kind of voice or something here. He figures, yeah, they're going to back off. Everybody cashed out it right here, and they're pulling it back hard. And
91 even bid here. Call Alan. 91.
Call Alan. Now this is exquisite. I don't even know. Apparently Alan buys on pullbacks at this point of the chart.
I get the print in all the
Call Alan. I have a video that just has Call Alan. It's like a 10-second video.
To 98 even there, guys. 91 even bid.
Call Alan. That's locked in my brain.
91 even bid out about 90.
I want to have my ringtone say Call Alan on my phone. People are like, what the fuck is this Call Alan shit every time your phone rings?
5 even offer here now once again.
I'm sure we can get that on a ringtone.
91 even bid here. Call Alan. 91.
Call Alan. Is Alan calling me on the phone? Alan's in the fucking... He's buying on pullbacks, apparently.
Once again, 91 even bid here. Call Alan. 91 even bid.
Alan loves to buy at the 618. Is this a 618 coming? All you Fibonacciists should know. Are we coming into a 618 or are we coming back to previous breakout confirmation? We actually went up for a little bit.
95 even Stu trade. 95 even Stu trade.
Well, that's a fast bounce. Look at this thing.
Tell him we made it down to 1060.
Tell him, is this tell Alan? Tell Alan we made it down to 1060 so he can feel like he's kicking himself, like he missed the fucking entrance. Wait, I'm gonna torture Alan. Tell him that he missed the 60 entry.
90 even traded. 86 even.
Wait, I got to call Alan. I can't wait.
95 even Stu trade. 95 even Stu trade. Tell him we made it down to 1060.
Tell him.
90 even traded. 86 even.
He missed the entry at 1060.
86 even bid at 90.
Rub it into Alan. Tell him we traded to 1060 and he fucked up. He should have put a limit in.
85 even offer here. We're 10 handles wide. 85 even bid. 95 even offer. Once again, we are 10 handles wide. 88 even bid on who even offer. Once again,
Alan's wife picked up the phone and fucked up the trade.
88 even bid here now. 90.
Honey, is this the right account?
2 even are trading here now. Once again, 92 even do trade. 90 even bid here now. I'm at 92 even offer here now. Once again, 90 even bid here now. 91.
Now his voice changed to like, we're at breakout territory. Like, are we going to continue? He's drilling down now. He goes, we're in a trading range voice again.
Here now, once again, I'm off of that.
Very tight range.
92.
We got a triangle.
90 even bid here now, guys. Trading 88 halves are trading here now. Once again, 88 halves do trade off of that 90.
It's like they're at the gate, you know. This is before the race, and here, this is the quintessential moment of truth. Are we going to come back and retest again deeper and take out this low and go to the 618, or are we going to just like, this is it, we're going to rip and blow through the top of this, and it's going to never look back, and you'd be like, dude, we should have bought that day.
5 even off here now, guys. 85.
Oh, they just retested that low. Are they going to stop some goober out to put a stop at that fractal?
95 right now. 85 minute 95.
No, we're pulling away from the station. Very tight range. Look at the breakout here for tick bar breakout. Talk about tight. I mean, you're sitting there with your finger on the trigger.
Coming in on the offer. He's doing some
Of course, in the pit, I don't think you can get the fill. I mean, if this is not, if you can't pull the trigger on this, by the time your order makes to the pit, this slippage is mind-blowing.
in here now, guys. Once again, starting to quiet down just a bit. 85 even start trading.
So we have a triangle, quieting down just a bit. Right, we can make the assessment. We're currently in a triangle. We're dojiing out here. Everybody kind of agrees that, okay, that's kind of a crazy bounce. Are we going to drift higher? Or?
84 even start trading. 83 even start trading. 85 even start trading here now, guys. I'm off of that 87. Once again, I'm at 82 even video now. I'm at 80.
Oh, he's digging down again. I think it's time to. I would actually have my finger on the buy trigger when he digs down.
7 even off here now, guys. 82 even video now.
Accumulation phase voice.
At 87, 85 even video now. I'm at 90 even off here now. Once again.
Whoa, wow. That's the longest trading range or melodic range he's held on his voice this whole time. It's a huge signal for me.
Oh. I'm at 85 even at 90. 90 even start trading here now, guys. Once again, I'm at 85.
Starting to sound bullish.
5 video now, I'm at 90. 85 video now, once again, I'm at 90 even off here now, guys. 85 bid.
Oh wow! I like the way he said that bid, man. He threw that away at the end. He let the note drop off on that bid.
Here now, guys. 85 bid.
85 bid.
Guys, 86 even bid.
Back to normal trading. Well, it's just normal day now. He's huffing and puffing. I mean, he put his whole weight of his whole. I mean, this guy could have had a heart attack fucking announcing this shit.
86 even video now, guys. I'm at 92 even off here now. Once again, 86 even bid at 92. This will blow people out in a big way like you won't believe.
This will blow people out in a big way. You mean people that are short.
90 even bid here now, guys. Once again, 91 even start trading. 91 even start trading here now. Once again, 91 even start trading here now. Once again, 91 even stay trading here, guys. 93 even start trading. 93 even off here now, guys. Once again, paper comes off of that too. Arguing about a 93 person out here now, guys. Once again, 91 even been out. I'm at 93.
Yeah, he's like the ultimate. He's the let's get ready to rumble guy in the boxing pit of trading.
91 even been.
They just took out that high there on the bid. It just spiked up there. So this never took out this fractal. You could have bought this thing here. And maybe Allen's in on that.
Now once again, quieting down just a bit. 93 even started trading. 93 even video now. I'm at 95 even. Once again, 93 even been in our best video now. Once again, 96 even do trade here now, guys. I'm off of that 98. 98 even off here now. Once again, I'm a 95 even video now. 98 even off here now, guys. 97 even been 99. 97 even been now. Paper comes to the buy. 98 even start trading here now. Paper comes to the buy here now. Once again, 98 even do trade. 98 even video now. Trading here now. Once again, 8 even do trade here now. Once again, 8 even do trade. 99 even been figure bid. Figure bid, paper's trying to buy, can't get them. GP trying to buy, half bid, 1 even.
So the big boys are the real geniuses. Did you hear this? JP is trying to buy. JP Morgan. So look at these so-called big boys getting in late. This is why I think it's all bullshit about the big boys and the smart money. It's just bullshit. It's just shit to make you think that. I mean, in other words, just makes you think that, like this guy that has a Lamborghini, and he's got this hot bitch in the seat, and he's happy. Or it's the whole thing people sell the Forex courses, like, look at me on my yacht. Look, I just show up like every other day and put on a trade and look at me. But where's the are you happy? Is what is that, right? JP Morgan's gonna they're the geniuses. Oh yeah, we have to wait for that. Oh, so everybody's gonna get in. Maybe you're right. I mean, maybe they're gonna get. They don't want this trade down here. They don't want that spiky. They're getting in late. They're chasing. The big boys are chasing. So what the fuck are you? I mean, I don't get this big boy thing.
Now once again, 98 even Stu trade. 98 even video now trading here now once again. 8 even Stu trade here now once again. 8 even Stu trade. 99 even bid. Figure bid. Figure bid. Papers trying to buy. Can't get them.
Papers trying to buy. Can't get them.
JP trying to buy. Oh,
JP Morgan trying to buy. They're buying right here at the fucking right up against the floor here. Well, they're going to cause the total engulf, don't you understand? I mean, the big boys would never buy down here. Why not? Isn't that the better entry? Oh, that's the smart money down there. Isn't the smart buy down there? No, man, you just can't step in front of a downtrend like that.
Bid, one even bid. One even bid here now comes in 11. Oh, one even bid coming in here now. JP Morgan trying to buy.
Trying to buy again.
Evens are trading. 3 evens are trading. 4 hearts are trading. JP.
Floor traders won't give it up to them. JP Morgan can't get a fill. Poor bastards.
Hearts are trading. JP.
That's why you have to subsidize these big corporations, see?
3 evens are trading. 4 hearts are trading. JP can't buy them. 5 evens are trading. 6 evens and 7 evens are trading.
Oh, smart money's missing out. Big boys are missing. JP can't get filled. Ah.
3 evens are trading here. JP with Merrill Lynch coming in by.
With Merrill Lynch. Oh, here comes the big boys. Oh, this is when you should be buying.
Side.
But you want to? I've seen these fucking people send me these goddamn things. You got to show up for our seminar on how to trade with the big boys. Why would I want to trade with the big boys? What am I into weightlifting? How big are these boys?
All the way up from 95 up to the figure 05. Once again, guys, we used to do this every day, dude. 70.
Dude, man, bro, I missed the dude part. This is the extended version of Ben. Ben really lets his hair down and he goes, dude, man, bro, I'm here.
Even video now, I'm at 90.
Dude, the JP got fucking screwed.
Video now, once again, 7 even.
So JP finally gets filled and there's another retest and they get blown out. They have to hedge and call their customers and raise their bank fees.
Trade. Guys,
Oh wait, I missed that.
Trade.
Oh, they do trade.
Guys, 7 even Stu trade here now, once again, 05 even trading as well.
So there's liquidity now. There's trading, but JP was shut out of that.
Now, once again, we have paper that came in big time buying. JP Morgan bid them up a full 10 handles as a buy side activity there, guys.
Oh, so JP's finally in there chasing the fucker and bidding it up. And, you know, all the smart money, all the people that had that stepped in front of the market here and bought are just fucking loving it. And then when they hear JP's in, they're like, oh, here comes the moronic big boys. Let's get out. Trade's over. Everybody's into it. All the fucking retail goobers following the fucking big boys. It's just a huge lag.
Once again, with figure even bid here now. Oh, I was quoting $10 wide. Figure even bid here now, guys. Once again.
I mean, the retail traders got way more advantage than the big boys. These big boys are actually chasing their own fucking market. As soon as they bid into the pit there, then everybody's like, oh, JP's buying. And every goober on the fucking planet that follows the big money and the big volume and all that bullshit, they didn't get in when the volume was low before the move. No, that's for a certain other kind of trader that do that.
Figure bid at 05. Oh, even bid. That's an 1100 bid at 05 even off. We have 5s trade. 7 evens are trading. Guys, once again here, guys, 7 evens are trading. Look at the VIX up to 38. 7 even bid here now, guys, once again.
So the volatility index is spiked, but it's over. Now it's just going to be drift all out. And it could come, the volatility, look, it just dried up. It's like the party's over. This is the biggest, chaotic smash and grab down here.
7 even bid here now. We are 47 handles off our low.
Now they're pulling it back off that top. Here comes the seller's double top on that picture.
Once again, 8 even bid here now, guys. I'm off of that 9 even here now. Once again, 8 even bid.
Wow.
Guys, 9.
That's crazy. Anyways, I'm crashing this thing all day long. YouTube's been acting up. Of course, I fucked up the patches on my thing. Anyways, so the 1 minute chart here, I wasn't watching while he was going nuts, and we got crushed out here. I'm going to buy some more now. I freed up my margin. I don't even know if that made money. I wasn't watching. So I'm going to put some 15-minute things in and some 30 minutes. And I'm going to put in the 1 hour. Oops, I just filled it up, so I just maxed it out. But yeah, Ben was going right along with this sell-off here in the dollar yen. And look at this beautiful recovery. We missed this entry here. So having all these different, and of course that kind of, I think Forex is like that kind of psycho sell-off stuff. Ben should be doing the NFP Forex. So yeah, what the hell's going on here, people? What's the story? What is the story here? Another boring day of trading. Earlier was exciting here when the British pound sold off. Look at this thing. This is 100 pip on the black handles. So what is the market that we should watch? Let's take a look at the all the markets. I've got like a million windows here. Some of these contracts have expired, like copper. I should take it out of here. So my tequila buddy would bring up the chart platform like this, and he'd see all this stuff flashing, and he'd get so excited. He's a true gambler in heart, so he's very excited about the flashing. And look at those things flashing. I don't have any scripts for this. I had some EAs trying to run on this. I maxed out the tickets on this. Look at the S&P. I think it's doomed. Look at this thing. Man, I think this is trapped at the highs so bad here. Like, look at this trap. Oh my God. We could still hunt these guys' stops here. Anybody got a stop here? So I put a buy limit there. If I was trading S&P, buy limit. The Nasdaq's in full-blown crush mode. That's the monthly. There's the weekly. Look at this thing being obliterated right now. Great scalp off of this. Some guy was asking about the market profile and the basement thing. So my basement theory is that these wicks are the basements, that those are scalp windows. And I would buy that window. I'd also buy this window here. And this one I'm a little bit underwater if I put a scalp bank in there, so to speak. That's the weekly S&P. I got to get rid of this really tight indicator here, which is the 100 pips. Because the problem with this, it's coming into, so you can't see it. Now here, like, so if you have your orders sitting here, you're underwater on that top order, but if you could afford to buy is deep back into here, you have another order bank like this, you only fill the top of that, and you're going to say, I wish I would have bought more here. You're probably always going to wish you would have bought more, you know. You come home with 3 girls from the bar, I wish I had 4. And then one for each limb. But here is the picture, and really, you know, the monthly. Look at the monthly S&P 5 on Nasdaq. Sorry. Look at the volatility. Look at this stuff now. Is this part of the distribution phase here, this choppy blow off top, they call that. There's all sorts of names for all this stuff out there. You know. Okay, so yeah, I think we're looking at the top. What else we got? Okay. And then the stock market on daily looks like it's just going to start melting down into the end of the year and blow out this floor. Anybody want to take bets? That's the true gambler. Let's bet on predicting the market. Right, because that's the reason why you read all these books, is to predict the market. Wow, look at this thing. Ferocious. And on the monthly, it's like, wow, really? Look at that thing. What a beast. My God. Dow Jones. I could come back to here. First stop is going to be previous pivot, which is right there. First, we got to crush all these guys' stops out. Start carving all that. And of course, this vacuum goes way back. The trend line is my to figure out the void below. So if you break the trend line, wow, you know, there's that void, and then there's the super steep trend line. I'm just using the trend lines to give me the void. And that's saying that we're going to come back to this trend line, and it's getting steeper and steeper. That is so ridiculous. Man, that's amazing. That could be the double top for the next... What if that's a double top for the next 15 years? So, I'd be 75 years old and I'd say, look at, see, I told you. I told you. Now, did you sell your whole life up here? Did you put a lien on your house and go over to a broker with 1,001 leverage and just load up on that trade? Can you imagine? 15 years from now, you tell people, dude, I've been short from here. Go fuck yourself. Look at this. Yeah, I did it. I loaded up just like I did here. I went short at this double top, and I bought my in 1 year. So it took, and then another thing about these markets, look how long it took to make this thing up. Are you kidding me? It took us how many years we gave back what we made in 5 years in like 1 year. Ouch. Here's another laborious move. Gave back a little bit, but wow, really? Of course, this is considered to be technical analysis, what I'm doing, but I would just say from just velocity, momentum, if you only knew this much of the story, and the trend lines are just to give you the velocity of the move. That's ridiculous. I'm too curious to see how the story ends. I guess I want to live forever in terms of my ego predicting the markets, but severe pullback here in the dollar yen. Look at how they trapped these poor goobers up here. JP Morgan's got their nuts wrapped around a pit pole here. After listening to that, that's about the 80th time I listened to Ben call out that trade, and really didn't even, because you can't see the original video. That's a blurry chart. You can't see what he's talking about the big boys. Look at this. Looks to me like dollar Swiss is about to crush through this void and just go nuts. Just go nuts to the upside. I mean, fundamentally, the interest rates are up. So there, there's the argument, right? I just took the handles off there so you can see it, but this is the monthly dollar Swiss. And what's going to happen if we breach these tops here, right around par, right around the buck? And can we make it back to the 2009 and look at the heyday here of the dollar? Back in here, it's amazing. Of course, this was the top that was supposed to hold, and that became the confluence point. I mean, just horizontally speaking. So the trend lines for me are all just volatility indicators. And as this steps through, it looks like it's stepping through this window. If it punches through here, now it's taking forever. It's 8 years of pressure built up at this huge, and the volatility is also drying up, so something's got to give hard. And we've technically trapped our fake breakout here on the monthly below here when we went into this void, and now I've come back up. So you kind of trap the continuation breakout downtrend people, and they would claim the downtrend because you can see their trend line. There's no RSI signal here on the weekly. Not really. So I wouldn't even bother with RSI if you're really trying to make money. It's just there to, I guess, give you, well, it's got a whole rule set to it. It's not worth it. I think it's better to clean this up and realize that this is your trade block or your jigsaw or your window. Also, I'd fix the scale so you can change time frames without, because really it doesn't, what matters here would just be here, this amount of movement. Get rid of this indicator. Okay, delete, please. Thank you. See, I'm talking to the, so maybe I got the voice activated MT4. Here's the trap there, so to speak, and it's kind of filled this 3-year, and look how it just nicked this one basement here by just like the ultimate come back and stop you out hunt there. And that one little wick there, and now off to the races. And of course, JP Morgan's going to come in and chase it now, just like they did on the other chart. Wait for those big boys to come in. It's just not safe to go in the water just by yourself. Yeah, I'm live. I'll go wait for the 10. So the bottom of the hour is coming. Now I can zip down to the half-hour chart while I can see the monthly. Another reason why I think if you're the reality check here is to take the monthly, stretch it out, and go, okay. Oh, I can kind of see what's going on. Oh, I think I see what's going on. So if you're here and you go to the daily, you can kind of see, oh boy, Becky, what if they take out this? And look how they trapped all these poor goobers here. Oh, look, it's going to break out. Uh-oh. Wah-wah. Look at that pullback. How much money is in that trade? Just explain that to me. There's no MACD on that. It's just raw price. I want to say price action. I want to say price history. Look at new highs. 2-year high. What is the news here? If you could slice down, and I'm sure you can go to the financial news here. You just take this date. Tell me what the news is here. The dollar is an amazing. It's going to go to some idiot like Bull Pony's talking about it going up to like some mind-blowing price, right? Okay, here's your entry window. There's the day. Dollar's going to $1.30 after it takes out this. Oh, really? How'd that trade work out for you? Well, I don't know. Not too good. Well, this is why you wouldn't trade just one ticket. Look at this lovely new low. So buying new lows is such a difficult thing to say because it depends which new low. The one from last month Now, if you have really deep pockets or at least really deep stops, I think that, you're going to be very aggressive. You're actually going to put a buy limit at the every new monthly low. Here, you're going to get crushed. Here, you've got a different risk window, though, see? So this is such a big difference here. And then the differences get less and less, and the lower lows become more faint. But here you would have had to take some heat. If you decided to buy down into here, but of course no fill on this, so a lot of work for no payoff there. You never got filled down there in this order bank. But being contrarian, you're going to put your sell limits up here there's going to be scalps built into this right now. If you're not on the monthly dollar Swiss train, you could also have done the confirmation. I will buy, and this goes against selling new highs. You're going to buy new highs. So the reason why it is so confusing, and you can't take rules and just plug them in because it's pip dependent. So if I bought new highs here, you'd say, well, you're a fool to sell into this. Well, but you see, it's the depth. If I sell this new high on this rooftop, let's call them rooftops, have a sell bank in here, I'm underwater on that first ticket, but I'm up on all the other tickets. That's the monthly chart. Go to the weekly, and you see that this void goes back to here. So in the daily, you can't even see that void until you zoom out, and now you can see that shelf up there. This is the commercial rooftop, the rubber flat rooftop, whereas these rooftops are a little more, these are the residential rooftops, very spiky. But also here you have settlements that didn't fill, and if you can see this ledge in here, you can't see that that doesn't show up on the weekly. It just doesn't. But that's a real void there. Right, okay, so here we go. 1 minute to the 30 minute. So I'm going to jump right to the 30-minute chart now. And the 30-minute breakout bot, which would be a completely different system. So why time frame matters, because if you're selling, if your robot is selling this window here, this is the ultimate high trap, then here comes your volatility breakout half-hour bot. He gets a little trapped there, but he's totally short here, and he's not going to trade these big bars. He only trades small bars, so this is an hour and a half of sideways. And the 1 hour bot's in there too. Like if you're going to trade robots, they say you have to have like 20 robots. You have a half-hour bot, a 1 hour bot, and they're tuned to different take profits. And one of them's cashing out right now because if you put in a buy stop, sell stop here, in other words, while you've got sell limits up here, right here, you can see your half-hour robot was triggered, small bar. He gets filled on the long side only. Does he run a trailing stop and protect his profits? That's a whole other question. And are you just going to let it go and let it go for a nice kind of high-risk wide trailing stop? And as it comes up here, now you're in a winning hedge because you just went short on the same size tickets, or did you put multiple tickets up here? So it's very difficult to prescribe like what you're going to do each day. And if you just let it play out, this is Friday, and this is the low from Asia here, and this is the trap trade. So if you're buying on the 30-minute chart, there's more trades. You can't see these trades on the 4-hour chart, right? They're not, well, they're kind of showing up a little bit, but there's no stop hunt on this. There's not here it is. So if it's invading this and you have buy limits here, so something just happened here. It just got crazy. You see that? So look at this half hour down. There's no trade for the breakout points bot standpoint, but you have buy limits all the way to here all day long. This is how I'm playing it. I have buy limits here, and I'm basing it on this this wick, looking back into this undercut. So I have buy limits here, and I got buy limits all the way down here, just a massive amount. And I can just walk away from that trade, and I don't really care. Let's see how this guy's doing. I blew up this script bank while I was watching Ben. Okay, so this is recovering off the bottom here. Like this is the trade that my favorite trade, I guess, is this ultra contrarian entry here in the British pound. Comes below this floor right now. People are cashing out here because that is the massive buy limit grid that you could have placed before you went to sleep based on that wick. And I don't know if that's I don't know if this broker had this is a 2-pip grid on the dotted, but I don't know if that broker had a whatever. But if you had buy limits here, you'd be cashing out, and maybe here comes JP Morgan, right? You're going to chase buy. They're buying now. So I can see what they're thinking based on, well, Ben on that one day. Here comes the paper. Here comes JP Morgan. Here comes what was the other one? Bear Stearns and all these other idiots. Who's all the big houses? I could see this British pound poking into here, but then of course here now you got to come in and sell again. It's just back and forth. That's a 2-pip grid, so that is a 4-pip window, 6-pip window. But if you have your targets set at 3, 8, 9, you're not going to be able to make a living off of these scalps that you have pending here, because you'd have to reload them, because once they tagged up here earlier in Asia, if you look at this one here, you'd have to rinse and repeat. If they filled this window, then they eventually went a little bit higher here by 1 pip, 1.5 pips, and then ripped it down. But if you're feeding off of that for your sells, and then you have this glorious buy into that sell. So if you bought here and you just traded limit to limit, no stops. The 50-minute chart, it's kind of hard to put a buy stop you're going to get kind of whipsawed there. On the 30, it's a little bit less brutal, and the 1 hour is certainly a lower frequency trading. But look how the chop appears here as opposed to how it appears on the 15. People call this noise only because of the way you're viewing it. Now it's a 2-pip grid, and the spread is about less than a pip. There's commissions on here, and look at this top become a bottom just before the final plunge. Are you jumping on this fucker on the clock? Oh, top bottom on the 15 sell market. Okay, but you don't have to, because you could. I'm a little lazy. I like to just say, you know what, fuck them. Lay all my orders in here 2 pips apart and just go, okay. There's some guy that's going to trend trade the last price pulse of that. Look at, I got structure with a trend down. Look at this. Okay, and then they come back and rip your face off and watch it engulf. By the time London closes here, they'd be ripping off the top of this, right? I've seen this a million times, right? And you're like, dude, here comes JP Morgan. Here comes the paper. They can't get a bid. Look at that. We're just about to take out this 30-minute bar here. So we're 5 minutes in. We go to the 5-minute chart. We just started this new 5-minute chart. Did you buy here at the 100? And look at the little stop hunt here. But I wouldn't treat this like how many trades are you going to do? You can see this one, right? They dip into that window, pull back. This is a 2-pip grid on a dotted. Your spreads there, plus commissions. Okay, now we should see reaction there. Okay, you're cashing out. Like if you bought that, you're like, oh, hey, watch them rip it back. Somebody took that trade the other side. Okay, JP Morgan again. This is the target. We got to take out this line on the pound. Got to blow that out. And people will buy after that does. After it closes, this is what I'm watching. I mean, everything from people that are late confirmation entry, people would actually say, you know what, if it closes up there, this is a half-hour chart. If it closes above here, I will buy. Or they'll start doing their 618 nonsense and buying pullbacks. Okay. But really, to me, the entry's here, and you missed it. And that was a not even a no-brainer trade, but a no effort. I mean, we'll play the orders in, but you don't have to be there for that. You could be out, buying another sofa, and you come home and you're like, shit, half of that bank's cashed out. But it goes against conventional kind of, if you feel a duty to pay attention to your money and And I'm going to treat it like a real business, like a real job. I'm going to show up and be a slave to the chart. You would have known all these prices at the beginning of the week. If you go to the weekly chart, and of course the weekly guys are underwater. If they bought this window here, they're only slightly up on that. Can't see it. I got my 100 pip handle's too big, but look how this thing nicked the low from 2 months ago today. There's such a huge reaction there. So once again, you always got to, when you're loading a template, you got to refix the scale. So why does the market react so fucking hard down here? And look at, you're up on all these tickets that you would have known 2 fucking months ago that was a good buy. In fact, I'd be so bold as to say I would buy anything in here all the way down, because if on the 4-hour chart I can see the I can't really, so I'm just using them, I'm condensing it out, I'm zooming out. So if I do zoom out, I want to stretch it like this, because I want to see where in the landscape of this whole bottom, I don't really care about the other prices above me. So if I do zoom out, I'm trying to identify, okay, look, we're down here, and they can see the wicks. Your trade plan is a little different here. Your buy limits are sitting below this 100-yard line. And once again, you retest even a skosh lower there. You can't see the rooftop shelves here, though, with this. On this. You got to be on the daily now. So you got to kind of like, but I do this to see, well, what does that look like in terms of pips over time? And look at this crazy stuff down here. You get kind of a view of the fractal of that. You can almost see I gotta dump this out to get it in here. So you can see the top become a bottom there for a little bit. Right here, this is a pullback or just retest, and here's your first chance to draw a trend line. So if you draw a trend line on close, which I would say this is the easiest way to guarantee that you're consistently analyzing the market based on what it did. Once it closes up, you're allowed to draw a trend line there. It doesn't speak to the wick. It actually pokes, the trend line pokes through the wick there. But so here you have your, you call Allen, if this thing pulls back and I get a trend line, let me go to 1 hour. So I won't be able to draw a trend line unless I'm on a thing where I get this to pull back, pause down here, and I can draw my first trend line. But I can kind of just say, oh, it looks like we're going up. Or I could say, oh, there's a 618. If I wait 10 more minutes, I'm going to close out this 1 hour chart, and 20 more minutes. I'm going to close out this 1 hour chart. Or I'm going to look at the 15 and say, look at this. Wow. Hopefully I cashed out. And now I'd buy in limits. I'd come in here with limits that are 2, 4, 6, 8 pips deep for 15 minutes now. But this looks hell-bent on visiting this price here. I put sell limits there. And here's like a 1 hour rooftop, so to speak. Sell limits all up in there for maybe next 4 hours. If we come up there and chop around, there'll be money to be made there from getting in sell high, buy low theory, so to speak. So it really depends what you can tolerate. Here's the buy limits are about to fill here on my dollar yen trade. And once again, like, this is crazy stuff. We're coming into mini historicals. We're only going back like a month. We're making monthly lows now. And at the end of the month's coming too. And it is the end of the year coming up. You could see the dollar yen come crushing all the way down and just start to unwrap into this huge void. And maybe the ride's over there, because I noticed on the crude oil, I feel like the same thing's going on crude, where you've got this pullback into, I can't find my crude oil chart. I definitely put up too many instruments here. There you go. So crude oil's kind of satisfied this window here. Everything is in the same phase of making really fresh lows. That's the weekly. Look at this year in the crude oil market. So, the volatility breakout systems that run on the monthly, if you can only imagine that trade, I can't, but lowest volatility bar breaks out to the upside, never looks back, and you're buying every new high because your breakout bot is calibrated to only take bars that are this small and smaller. So that bar wouldn't qualify. But this one, you'd be adding to this position. This is the add to a winner theory, works out here perfectly. So once it starts coming up into here, you figure, wow, that's your sell limit banks, or you're cashing out into that. And you only make money on this very top here. You make a little bit on the contrarian pullback there as they chop this top and then come back a little bit, but then it just keeps on forging north because you kind of figured that this void was so huge that it needed to be filled. And of course, from a support view looking back, only one to the most recent low, I wouldn't look back any deeper, that price there is a big deal, $78 a barrel. But now, like the stock market, if crude starts to dilly-dally and weasel its way up back into here, this is the top, become a bottom theory. This is a big window. Buyers would come in there. But what if it just drips down or it just drips down and then accelerates, right? Takes off like it rips down here. Who knows, right? I don't know. I'm assuming my audio is still functioning. So we have the this broker here I've set up to be a triple screen system with the euro dollar, and I have scripts here running that I know are 15 minutes. So the 5 with the daily, and this is stuff I launched earlier here. I'm going to put in this double click that's going to put in limits there. So this will put a crop of limits in. And here's very tight. So this is a completely different trade. And it's about to get filled on that. And another thing is if I make this time frame, say I launch it here, that's a 5 minute. This is the 1 hour. If I launch that same script here, you're going to say, wow, that's too close. Too soon, right? The joke, too soon. Here, these are 15 minutes, so I feel a little bit like I can get crazy here. Now, I'm leaving a hole here, so it doesn't totally fill. I'm from Canada. I said that once, and the guy thought I was from Canada, because everything's like, I'm not sure about this trading platform. Here's the tick chart. Here I can get a giant tick chart because I have only one instrument running. So I can have the whole screen could be a tick chart. Because if you just have one symbol, your tick chart will fill up like Mondo King's size. So yeah, just trying to buy and pullbacks here. I can see these pendings here. I'll tile these out. So you got to retile these to fit, and then I can take the objects off. The balls will turn into arrows if you go to candlestick mode. But I usually don't, or because it's candlestick is the only one that will make it an arrow. But here's my bar chart. So candles are just a little bit too much. I would definitely be buying the big down candles here. Black and white candles. So the 5 minute, but I just had the triple screen here to have stuff in context. So I can see if I go to candles that we're coming down, and we got a hammer here, we got a bullish, we're about to maybe engulf. I have 20 pip grid on that. I need to take that off so I can more market top tier, but So there's and then we can go to the weekly, and we don't have to fuck with this one. We can always keep our eye in the 5-minute world. Super tight entries here because I'm running the candles that just show up as arrows now. But I did that. All my scripts have the arrows turned on because I sometimes, if the script crashes, you won't see the whole thing. I'm just doing to confirm that the orders are coming in, and also to create like a. I know that I pressed the button then. You can see what shows up in the time. So I have the, and here it looks like, wow, really? And of course, the volatility was low enough here. So I could want way more, that's the 4-hour, which is crazy. You can't even see a breakout trade in here. Only here was the breakout to the downside. You can see you would have went short there and got a little bit trapped long here. But now it looks hell-bent on a railing. Go back to the British pound, see what it's doing. What we got here for the pound. Okay. So the pound's stretching up into the resistance. I think everybody's that bought down there is cashed out. Well, anybody that's anybody. Anybody that want to make at least that many pips, we're still holding a little bit up. I would dump everything and come in with limits again. Depending on how hairy I got in here, and if I was even here, now it looks like we're going to break out to the upside. Like I do think this is the zone. This is where they want to take the market. Then I saw some guy type in that chat thing on that stream. The guy says, well, I've heard that you've got to, instead of having a bias, do what the market wants to do. Well, how do we know what the market wants? The silliest stuff. Silly stuff people say. The market for me is just noise. Here we go. So that you see the sellers come in there a little bit off of this 15-minute. Did you catch that little pop there into this window here? And they backed off. It's fake pitch shift. There's a more acceptable chorus. That's the resolve. That's where we get out of the trade. Thank God. Another trading day gone. That's pulling back. See, that's why I would have dumped everything in that, and that was a sell window there for the scalpers. British pound. Now, with all the confidence of a moron, I would put a buy limits every 2 pips here. I wonder if I can move some of these tickets up since I can't put any new stuff in. Ooh, that's a stop in moving. Gotta be careful. I'll just go like this since I can't put any new tickets in it. These ratios are fine with me. These are like, some of these are 2-hour pendings. So now I'm intervening. This is why, but since I'm doing discretionary trading, they call it. I mean, since I'm putting, I don't want to repeat any entries here, but I have no problem intervening if I know, if I see a robot doing something inappropriate, I would definitely jump in and stop him. Like if that wasn't what I intended for that robot to do. So I don't think it's a problem intervening in your robot. And this is the whole thing. People come at this like on so many angles. It's hilarious. Like this scientific approach, and I don't know. There's people with one tooth making money. You know, they just go, oh, I can see what's going on. I think I see what's going on here, but you know, the internet's so full of. There's probably a bottomless pit of charts out there, you know, to look at. Do you find some crazy broker's mind? They tend to be okay. Yeah. Plus, how to get your money in and out of this stuff, you know. Bitcoin seems like the only thing out there now if you want to go for the high leverage accounts. Doesn't seem to be anything else to. So I have my... So I don't accidentally move these tickets. I had to go into tools, go to options, and go to charts. I should go to trade. No. Oh, shit. Yeah, go to charts. And then you have to use the Alt key to drag the trade levels, because when you get this default program, it does not check down here. It's like, it's not checked on. So that is problem, because if you're drawing objects on the chart, you'll accidentally drag your order. So now you got to hold down the Alt key to get a ticket to move, and then we see double arrows show up. Okay, so they didn't fill me on that pullback. And the scalpers had their fun there. You can see a very short-lived trade there. You see how fast that trade's over. Like if you sold the new highs, you kind of have to get out where people are buying new lows, in the sense of these kind of new highs and new lows. So it's kind of, you can't make a blanket, you can't make it a global statement of, are you going to buy new lows and sell new highs? It really depends on what your target is and which kind of, you know, because this is very quick. If this keeps crushing down, you would have said, well, I should have stayed in that. Yeah, but if your entry is based on these 5-minute windows, you can see the top here that's showing up from the 15. You sell, you cash out, you go long, and maybe you don't even sell there. You just go long on trailing limits. So if you're running against the JP Morgans, imagine JP Morgan's running a stop, you're going to buy their stop. Because who's the confirmation trader? The confirmation trader that buys on limits, waits for the pullback. Then there's a confirmation trader that got in at the market because he told himself, if we close above this, I will go long. And he bought here. Now, you got to believe all these trades are going on. He bought right here. And he took some heat. But he's going to tell you at the end of the day, look at, I'm a fucking genius. I wait for confirmation, not like you fucking idiot, just getting in there willy-nilly. But I always want to be the guy that buys this place, and maybe I do buy a fucking goober entry up here, and I get in on a stop, a confirmation, and I do pull the trigger once we're making higher highs, we're in an uptrend, keep buying. That's okay for some of that. And like you said, I do all three. You can do all three trades. And then this also makes it easier to trade multiple tickets, because you can say, well, that one's a market trade, that one's a stop confirmation, that is a counter trend limit entry, or this is the, I'm going to buy the money management stop hunt. I'm going to get in against, I'm going to get in when it goes on sale in a perceived uptrend. Anywhere along here, you could have pulled the trigger every other 5-minute bar. You're only going to pick up this, or are you just going to be buying every 5 minutes it's down? By a little bit, you're accumulating here. You call this accumulation phase. And now it looks like we're going to go after that void up there. This is just the classic bullshit of the market. Now, this 2-pip window here, since the spread is under a pip, yeah, you could have got filled on 40 standard lots here, or 4 1Ks. It would depend on how much. And look at, I'm talking it back, and maybe I will get filled on these tickets after all, because I'm not chasing it. I'm waiting for them to crush back here and pick me up. And then maybe we zoom through the top. And, of course, it's running out of – another thing that fuels these markets is it ran out of buyers. Like you hear this Ben calling out, there's no offers. There's no offers. JP can't get filled. And if their tickets are big – another thing with these big boy, the bullshit about big boys, their tickets are so big that there's nobody in the pit to offer on that thing at that price. And if there's no liquidity there, where they didn't have the problem in Forex, so if you're on the euro versus the dollar or the British pound here, there's no shortage of liquidity. You're going to get filled. You could pull the trigger at the market right now. So 5 minutes ago, it was down a little bit on close, but it actually, the wick dipped lower and stopped somebody out, you know. I know the big boy thing is just, I mean, who's Ben? Who's Ben? Are you late to the party? Ben Liechtenstein. Wolf, German. He sounds like he could be Jewish. You know, the Jews are making the Forex go up and down. Ben. Who's Ben? Who's Alan? Fuck, who's Ben? Yeah, I'll play a little Ben for you here. This is the 2010 crash. Let's see my history here. I guess I dumped out of that. Oh well. Reload that. Here, now it looks like we're going to take out the highs of the day and the highs of the whole day now on the British pound. That would have been your one chance to get on the long train, and that came back and took out a 25-minute basement. If you consider these right there, it came back and it wiped out all that trailing stop shit from the money management bots. They were running trailing stops and they got trapped. Plus they trapped the bears, the bear bots that get in on sell stops. You can see how they trapped them there? That's how that rolls. Now, I do think it's, we're going to cut through now. Also, we have 1 minute. We have 5 seconds before the top of the hour. We go to the 1 hour chart. Look at this thing screaming. Look at that puppy screaming north. Boom. It's 11 o'clock. London calling. London closing. What a gap on my data here. What the fuck happened there? Really? Look at this. Broker, are you kidding me? As you can see in the half hour, here we go, cutting north. Boom. Okay, I'd be selling into that, plus I'm cashing out of my longs. Never got filled. We could still rip back. So there you go. 30 seconds into the 1 hour, and look at the 4 hour. You want to sell that? Not me. Here comes JP. Here comes Alan's trades coming in now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 20-hour rooftop. Look at this thing come ripping north. This is my favorite view of the market, is this view here. Look at that. We've not been here in a month. A month of Sundays. Look how frisky this thing is. Wow. Big battle. Oh, sellers cashing out new highs. Just in the 5, here is the line of scrimmage. 3 pips away. Come on, Ben.
On it for you here in a big way. Paper came in. Huge paper sellers coming through here, guys. We got fast market up on the boards here once again. We have seen some big paper sellers coming in. It all started out up above around 38 even here now, guys, talking about 25 handles of solid sell-side activity here, guys. They have just peased the limit down, and the S&Ps would be 1053 even. So we still have a solid 60 handles of range left. Here they come to sell them again. 9 half straight night, 20 straight night, even straight here now, guys. 8 halves are trading as well. Once again, guys, they're going to get it in 8 halves trade. 8 even offer, 7 even offer. 6 halves are trading here now. 6 evens are trading. 5 evens are trading here now.
Oh, Ben. Yeah, so, yeah, that is the big boy thing is a myth. I think it's so funny. I know. I mean, like I said, why are you bailing out the banks? if the banks are using a 20 EMA, why are we bailing out the banks? Why did the stock market? What about the derivatives market? We're talking about, well, you're up against the smartest money in the world. Are you really? I think that the guy that's able to live to 100 years without blowing his brains out or having somebody blow his brains out, maybe that's a contest of life. How long do you live? I don't know. How long can you go before you blow up your account? Like I said, if you have 10 accounts, then you've just diversified. If you've got some gold, some Bitcoin, I mean, the Bitcoin thing's hysterical. I do think Bitcoin's just doomed. So I'm watching this thing about the Tether, which is just another clearinghouse instrument. It's just like, I guess, the Fed for automatic clearinghouse. People are trying to, well, the problem is that the transaction fees. I guess I think PayPal charges 1% more now. So everybody feels like they're getting screwed or scammed because they're paying some kind of fee, but you still have to put gas in your car, no matter how high end your car is. Look at the bears making money on this, selling new highs here. You can see the scalpers, and where they're going to cash out. Ultimately, they're going to buy where I'm going to buy on limits here. It may not get filled. This is why I would wait one more minute and just buy at the market, like I'm in Canada, and I could just let me put in the. So I'm going to view my scripts. Hopefully I got a script for this. I do have a market order that I can pull the trigger on. I can just nail it. Here I want to buy 5 pips deep. And here is my super tight. That is super tight. That's buying like 3 pips deep there. So I'm daring the market to fill me in a way, I suppose you could say. Yeah, I figure what's going to happen is, people will find, so I'm at the other side of town the other day, I guess where it's younger people, and I saw a gas station that said a Bitcoin ATM, my first one I've ever seen in the flesh. I've seen them on YouTube. Look, we're going to cut higher here, so you bears better have gotten the fuck out of that scalp. Okay, boom. Here's 5 minutes, a 5-minute chart. I'm going to come in here super aggressive and buy, I think I ran out of tickets to launch. There you go. So I have to wait it out. I'm going to switch time frames and go to the 15. Kill that script. This is the old scripts. These old scripts are kind of screwed up in that sense that they don't have the... but I mean, institutions are stepping in, and it's funny that people, it's kind of like, well, what is this movie star wearing? What kind of clothes does he wear? Oh, I want those clothes. It's so funny because it's this fashionista, which is this Michael Norman calls it. People are into the fashion of trading. And of course, this whole argument that, there's a million phrases like that just drive me nuts. Like, well, the banks know where they want to take these prices. Do they? All the banks are going to trade against each other because here looks like I might get filled here. All the banks are going to trade in unison. Then there'd be no market. Like if all the big boys are fighting each other, I mean, there's so many reasons why it's complete bullshit. Maybe some boys are bigger than other boys. Even in the big boy club, there's the biggest boy. I go with the biggest boy trades. And then it starts to sound gay after a while. Like, well, you go to the gym to see guys, and the big boys are there. Big boys don't cry unless they blow up their account. But what is going on with this stuff, Then you got the guy that's like some Poindexter fuck who has the VWAP. Has anybody seen VWAP? I mean, you just fucking... I got to look this shit up. I was going to do a video about it, but I might as well just talk about VWAP right now. I mean, some guy asked me about market profile. I'm like, that doesn't even begin to describe it. How about Renko charts and point and figure? I mean, you could spend the rest of your life till you're dead with a mouse in your hand like a fucking skeleton in front of your computer looking at all the bullshit that people come up with to try to help you in the trade. Now, I like it when people... This is called VWAP Explained. It reminds me of the Holy Grail Explained video, which is really beautiful. Here's a video lesson. I think this is only 4 minutes, so brace yourself.
Alright, so this is a video lesson on VWAP, Volume Weighted Average Price. I use VWAP a lot when I'm trading because it gives me a better...
This just sounds naughty. This doesn't sound right, does it? I use VWAP a lot with lubricant.
picture of the average price of a stock over the course of the day
Okay.
than
I'm just going to say it sounds a little lispy for me, but...
or exponential moving averages.
Is that a fact? Look at this VWAP. Oh, this is like a canned, explained for day trading stocks. Don't try to night trade them. Oh no, VWAP's not available for that.
The reason is because
because some people...
VWAP, the volume weighted average...
Oh yeah, I got to get my girlfriend up here. Getting a second wind. My search engine is so good. I just had to type in 3 letters. I think Google saved my history so well. Here's another one.
How do we narrow the gap between the rich and the poor?
Oh, this is precious. I haven't seen this one yet.
I think that the rich need to
Take a breath.
Oh boy. Those rich traders.
I think that the rich need to be able to be giving, and I think the poor need to work hard, and I think the middle class need to come together and find an in-between. Thank you.
Precious. Okay. Robinacci. Yeah, I mean, Robinacci doesn't get much better than that. I was going to put Ben and Robinacci in a mashup, but I didn't have a chance to edit. I want to put So the Market's Crashing with Ben, and then in the background you hear that they've been watching me in the supermarket.
Price takes into account the amount of shares traded at each price. So if you look at a stock like TMUS, we have this big...
That sounds TMUS. Total Money University.
Rip in the last half hour. But
do you know Francis Hunt? I don't know. Does he hunt stops? Trades Forex and crypto. 7K. Wow. For this whole course. Francis Hunt. God, man, this is how many people are out there selling courses? You kind of wonder, right? Let me see if I can find. If Francis is hunting my stop, then that is a problem. Oh, cyclical top in equities. Okay. 3 days ago. He's the marketsniper.com.
Hey guys, hello. Welcome to the snipercircle.com. We're going to talk about the DAX today.
Oh, here we go.
Something we've been doing. So this is our setup section of our premium area.
Sit-ups. I don't do enough of those for my absolute good. Here is the sniper guy. There we go.
That we've designed.
He calls them sit-ups. Maybe if I did enough sit-ups.
And we're talking about equities.
Oh, no, that's some pretty market profile. Look at the beautiful colors there. Oh, he's a real technical guy. He's very analytical. I trust him to drive the car into a mailbox.
Certainly, it's actually in the indices side. We actually have had a lot of...
I do trust these Brits when they talk. You're making some sense there, boy. Is there any country British guys? Like, come here, you.
Wars coming up for inverted setups.
Let me show you something, boy.
In our premium area here. In
premium area? Oh, well, that's a tea and some trading.
The sniper circle, and quite a few are...
Oh, boy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Well, only from the Rankos of the world who've still commented on my thing, even though I blocked them. It's so funny. Thank God I'm not triggered by reading their gooberness. No, yeah, I mean, I don't think this guy cares. He's selling a course, right? This is like looks like a stock here. Kelby. I used to fall in love with stocks because I thought, man, I love the fact that they're making like chrome dildos. I want to buy that stock.
Triggering at the moment. So let's just go have a look at the DAX. This is the German index, as you know, and it's the German big stocks. This was the setup that we spoke of, and here's what you'll learn or see about this setup and why we were calling earlier for it
I'm calling
to be potentially a downside.
Alan, you there?
The pattern view over here, you can see just before we were looking at it before it triggered is in here. The whole trade idea is expressed. Well done to
idea. I got an idea. So they do speak country over there. I got an idea. Look at this.
Ivan, who was putting this one out, and this was roughly just before it triggered to the south side. The interesting part about all of this, though,
could you please tell me the interesting part?
In fact, I'm going to go to a full-blown trading view.
Full-blown
version of this. Let's do it. Is that?
Oh, look at this gap. No, look at that. Look at that fucking. I'm buying that right there on limits. See, I'm just getting filled on limits there. It's stupid. I buy new lows. Look, he's trying to make like little rickshaw huts there.
Essentially, the daily is not actually such a big time frame for stock market indices. Everyone who's on crypto, that's like, oh, the major trend view and all the data you have. In actual fact, we have quite a lot more analysis we've done on
there must be head and shoulders there.
On the DAX over a far longer period. As part of our history. Let's just reframe that a little bit and get it done to size. I think I've lost one of my jaws. I'll redo it.
You lost a jaw.
You right here. But in actual fact, this has been a recovery market since 2009. This has been a recovery market since 2009. People, we are almost 2019. So you're talking about a 10-year bull market, in equities generally. Now, it's not to say that the European indices have done what the US indices have done.
Yeah, I don't know. This gets too boring.
Do you think political correctness is hurting or helping this country, and why?
That's a very good question. I think that it's a balance of both. We definitely need... I'm sorry, may you please repeat the question once more? What I would do to...
Oh boy. And she's gorgeous, by the way, of course, right?
Improve race relations in the U.S. is get more race...
She's got like 40 earrings on one ear. Earrings go all the way down to her nipple. The VWAP's much better, right? The VWAP's got more color than the guy from England.
The average...
I trust an American.
...price traded over the course of the day, even though it's increasing...
So they got a Brit or a gay American to follow here for signals.
During this period, it's still much lower than the current price. So when you factor in the number of shares traded at this price versus the shares traded over the course of the day, you get the VWAP. And here, the VWAP...
Get the VWAP, baby. Got VWAP. Baby got some VWAP.
Lags behind. Now, the moving averages, on the other hand, it doesn't matter if it's 10 shares...
It's a Virgin Italian VWAP.
10 million shares that trade at these upper levels, the simple moving averages are just going to come right up with it. So,
really? Well, that's good to know. I like when my moving averages come right up with it, like following a laggy kind of. Here's a nice entry, though. Look at this hammer. This is the Alexander Elder entries where you buy any, comes back, I call it the river. So I could trade a moving average if I had to, but I would focus on the fact that there's a hammer there, and that's a 5-minute chart, and I'd be like, okay, well, if it makes a new high, I could either put a buy stop here, or I could buy a buy limit here and get the stop hunt on that inverted hammer just before that. And I could make the argument that it's okay to buy because the moving average is pointing up. And I missed my entry down here when there was no volatility. So I could have traded a breakout strategy here. And when it broke out to the upside, I could say, well, I'm going to hold that and use the moving averages to justify me holding the trade. Right? There's a million ways to interpret this VWAP.
So the volume weighted average price is a little bit of a better indicator of the kind of center or average price over the course of the day.
See, now here's where you start putting the volume into the picture to try to get more confirmation and more like, oh, this is more better. The volume weighted price. Well, price is price. All this add-on. And he's got a triple screen of some degree running here, I guess. I think he's running the longer time frames on the... Oh, here's a 1 minute chart, 5, and the day, so it's triple screen. He stole my idea.
And I use this a lot of times as a level of support and resistance for day trades. So with a stock that rips up really quickly, if I'm thinking about shorting it, my target would be that it returns back down to the VWAP. Now, I would probably take profits along the way at the 9 moving average or maybe the 20 moving average, but ultimately my target would be that it returns down to the VWAP price, which is the orange dotted line on my chart. If we look at a stock like Aria this morning, this had a big breakout on news, and what we notice, which is typical for a lot of stocks, is that you have a breakout and then you have a return down to the VWAP, a return down to the average price, and then some consolidation, and then sometimes they go again. But this is oftentimes a really good area to look for either a re-entry or a short from the extension back down to VWAP. And I also use it
back to VWAP.
Let's see, I use it for when I'm shorting as well. When I see something that's dropped down really quickly, the first thing I look at is how far are we below the VWAP.
Good.
Because this is going to be my ultimate target, getting up to the VWAP. Yeah. And you see it happen really nicely
back
here.
To that
so
VWAP.
We get this nice washout, but if the washout
retail flush
stops and then starts reversing and you're really only like 10 cents below the VWAP, then to me I don't have enough reward potential to justify the risk of entering the trade.
Good.
And I like to enter trades with a minimum of a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio or profit-loss ratio, but the higher the better. So if I can get a...
He's on Cooper tires. Those are good tires. So, there's another thing is that I love Cooper tires. If I put Cooper tires on my car and then I bought the stock, I'd be like, I'm helping the company and I'm probably slightly making the company. I'm manipulating the stock a little bit because I got 4 tires plus a spare. No donut spare. I got a real wheel and the spare. I had 2 spares just in case, right? And I got 6 tires. Back to the VWAP.
A nice potential to get 3 times the risk out of this trade, then I'm going to take it. So if my stop is back at low of day and I've got, say it's 20 cent stop and I've got a 60 cent amount of room up to the VWAP, that's a good risk reward ratio. So I would be interested in taking that type of trade. Now, generally speaking, I use the VWAP more than I use moving averages.
It's the drinking game. Every time he says VWAP, we're going to do like a hit of cocaine since Yo's here. You do a line of coke every time he says VWAP.
I have both on my charts. And
you're allowed to alternate nostrils.
I also use some other indicators, but I find that VWAP is one of the better ones for day trading because it really gives you this good picture of the average price over the course of the day. So it gives you a feel of whether you're buying extended and you have to be a little bit tighter with your stops, or if you're buying something that's way below it and is coming back. It just helps give me a better picture of where the current price is relative to the averages of the day.
Wow. That's just too much info, I think. I mean, look at they're using the, did anybody ever study the Chart-Kin money flow indicator? Set at 7. Stochastics. The VWAP's actually the VWAP I saw had MACD on it. There's another VWAP video out there with a guy who's straight.
And you'll notice me referencing it a lot in my trades. My stop is the VWAP or first target VWAP, things like that. And so that's what I'm talking about when I'm...
I just burned out I just deviated my septum. Ran out of cocaine on this video for the line game. So the drinking game. How about trading VWAP for beginners? That'd be me.
What's going on, guys?
What's
Connor
up?
here. and I want to talk about VWAP.
Go for it.
Volume
See, now this
weighted-
has the MACD. Now this is a classic 12-26-9. We've all seen exponential. Wow.
The average price. So some of you may know this is a key indicator that I use for trading stocks that I always have on my chart. Right now, my chart is pretty much completely blank. I have no moving averages. I do not have the volume weighted average price right now on this chart. I'm currently looking at DCTH. This is a former runner within about the past week or so. So I want to go over the VWAP for you guys.
Go over it, babe.
So for any of you guys that are using Thinkorswim trading platforms, this will be really beneficial. I'm going to go over how you can set up your VWAP so that it could look like mine, but basically in general, so you can have the volume weighted average price indicator now on your screen. I'm going to go over how the VWAP acts as intraday support and resistance, and how you can kind of recognize a VWAP pullback or a VWAP breakout to kind of give you a sense of how you can start learning how to trade the VWAP. And if you were to ask me, if I can only have one indicator on my screen for trading and no other indicator, I would personally use the VWAP. If there was only one indicator I could have on my screen at a time, I would personally choose to use the VWAP or the volume weighted average price. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set it up. So this is your typical TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. The easiest way I find to do is just go over here to Studies.
Yeah, that's me dicking around. I haven't written any good songs lately, so I just play country. Come here, boy. Let me show you how to put on a trade. You got your finger on the one-click button now? Yeah. Step up to the plate, son. Just pull the trigger. Uh-oh. I'm underwater on the trade. Just keep telling yourself you're a swing trader, son. I am. Oh, back up in profits. So what does a profitable trade sound like? It's happy. Yeah, I'm trading the trend down, but I'm pulling back, so I'm fucking killing it. Then all of a sudden, oof, drawdowns. Oh, can't you go back to that entry, that good setup we had? No noise. Very clear. But then, oh, those. Uh-oh. Asian session. I don't know what to do. Oh, check VWAP. And then you think you see the beginning of a trend in Asia. Oh, this looks like a good one to get on. Where's this trade going? Seems like, I don't know. I did write a song about the Desert Storm. It's just a video. There's no lyrics. It just... After they hit the 9/11 building, people are like, oh, dude. I saw an ad on TV. And I want to join the military and go kill the towelheads. And then, so I joined the military. And then I get off the plane, and the plane's gonna land. We get off the plane, and we're in the desert. And you're like, this is fucking not like anything like the brochure. depressing part of the trade. I'm in. Not going to move my stops. Then we go back to the, get on the plane and go home. I don't know. I don't think VWAP's the way to go. So yeah, let's go back to the real-time markets here for a second. And we've got the, no fills here. This is my triple screen euro. I'm buying here on limits super tight. I don't know if I got filled because I did not delete. Here's the super. So this is a super fast fill. It's too bad that they kicked the Americans out of this account. Look how fast this. Of course, this is just for the demo. I don't know if the real account's going to fill this. So this is the account. There's a broker that was rated by the U.S. government. But this is a great script. It just buys super tight there. See on limits. And on the 1 minute chart, it looks like a completely viable trade. And here we go. Cutting north, it looks like they're going to crush the dollar. The euro is going to do the same thing the pound's doing here, which is just come ripping back up into this void. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, so there you go. The British pound has come up into the seller's window, and the feverish scalping has begun, and they're cashing out. See that? So if you're the guy that puts in a grid here, the scalpers are out now. Do we come ripping back down here? And I say, I want to buy it if we do. And since the broker's not going to let me put any more tickets in, I have to scooch up the existing tickets if I don't want to. And I just come here. And, I wouldn't say this is chasing, but I'm kind of chasing. I'm going to get in on pullbacks. But just I wouldn't limit my entry to a 618. I just think that's foolish and just utterly ridiculous. Oops, sorry. So sorry. Broker says you can't do that. Actually, the broker will do that if that ticket's about to expire. If that ticket's within 15 minutes of expiring, under 15 minutes, they won't let you move the ticket. So you'll get that sound, that evil, you can't do that sound. Nobody wants to hear that sound. Yeah, the prices, and look at the reaction here. Look at the scalpers having a heyday there, a free-for-all. And then we also have this window up here, which I can't mark off. I have to wait for the computer to wait for it to let go. Yeah. I got delay on here, which is like cloud trading. Let's see what else I got. I've got the super offset moving average, which is the pitch shifter. I feel like it's cheating. And they're pulling it back and they're having their fun there. So you can see it on the 1 minute chart. Scalpers have had their fun. Here comes the goobers. Here comes me. coming up under the market with the buy limits, trying to sneak in here like a sniper. Nobody knows I got orders. You can actually put the orders inside the spread here. Okay. I don't think I'm going to get filled. And for another 5 minutes if I'm lucky. Better than the market, though. Look at this. So I don't have to chase it or nothing. All right, wait, shit. Oh, wait. I'm moving this tape. I'm moving the wrong. You can see the stop. You can see the ratio here sucks. I have a deep stop and a very early exit. But I'm afraid of missing out, so I want to get in here. I'm about to get filled on these limits. Right here. British pound. Just itching to get filled there. So this is another thing. I could set this, and I tell you in 3 minutes I could get filled. I don't have to be here. I can go out and get some more meth. If I go up, the market will go up as long as I make ascending notes. All right, John Smith, are you a believer in 618, the golden level? Oof, just got filled there. I never understood where to attach the proper Fibonacci level. I have it here, I think. Customize. Give me my fibs. Fibonacci retracement, or should I go for extension? Is that it? Okay, wait, here we go. Please hold. Oh. Gosh, I think I set this at a custom level. That's not going to work. Yeah, I set this up at a custom level. I don't know, it's just too much work for me. I just as soon throw orders in willy-nilly down here at support. So we just broke out of this 1 minute triangle. We're coming into my limits now. About to get stopped out. These start flashing when they're 10 pips from getting stopped out. So the idea of trading these new highs in this rooftop, the scalpers are getting out at the breakout point here on the 4 hour right now. I think that's the trade. If you're going to sell up there, and these tickets are different sizes. So I martingaled into the top of this. And what's going on there is that's going to cash out early the way I wrote it. So we're going to cash out of this big ticket, this 40K. And dollar-wise, they're up. So this is quite a progressive kind of situation here with the scripts, because I don't have a linear size, so I have a fat scalp here at the 40K in there. So I'm down 23 bucks, whatever. Kind of beating the account up a little bit here. I've also dragged up some tickets from the bottom there. So how you found the right place? Don't go down the technical rabbit hole. We'll save you 2 years of your time. Well, there is the pursuit. It's fun, right? It's like when you go to the coffee shop. So this morning I'm at the coffee shop. Yesterday morning, and this girl who is so hot in there, she cross trains. When I first met her, she says, "Oh, she's a cross trainer for rich people." And I said, "Well, you got some guns there." She's got these muscly arms, and then I said, "Are you going to vote?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Well, you're going to vote Republican, right?" And she's like, "Uh-uh." And I'm like, "Gee, wow, how could I have guessed that? That a girl's going to vote Democrat? I can't believe a girl would vote Democrat." Because we don't know why she's voting that. Okay, so the scalpers have their fun. Here comes the big boys. Here comes J.P. Morgan. But I don't know. She was. I thought, well, gosh, I can't have sex with you now. You're going to vote You're going to vote Democrat. That was a deal breaker. Not that she was even considering having sex with me. That wasn't the point. It was just me way of taking her off the list. It's like when I look at the guppy and I go, look at the spread on that fucker. I think I don't have to worry about that fucking instrument. I mean, okay, so I'm going to let these, we're about to cash out on the scalp factor of the pullback there. So I could have either sold this for the scalp of a whole 6 pips, right? Like that. This is a 2-pip grid, these dots. And I could brag about, look at, I sold the top of that. I sold into an uptrend. Okay, now here comes the, not quite a top bottom here, you know, right? So you would have had to buy at the market. Every 5 minutes is down. You're buying at pullbacks. But here I put limits in instead. And maybe not enough, right? Maybe not enough. And now we could go for the full-blown rip now. We have all the way till here to the end of the day to make it into this floor here. The wick floor, and then there's a closing floor on the 4-hour, which is, there's another thing is that the problem with Fibonacci is, are you hanging it off the wicks or are you hanging it off the closing prices? And there's about 10 pips a window there on that wick. Okay, now can we do this panic move into the top of the hour as London closes and this comes screaming up into here and everybody cashes out? And that would cash out and go home or go out and get some more bitter coffee at Starbucks, you know? So I can't figure out which time frame to pull the trigger on. Okay, that's a problem. Yeah, it is. Well, the thing is that if you look at the time frame here, look at the euros coming. The euros leading the rally here. So here's the thing with the time frame. If you come into, so here's the monthly chart. That it really depends how long you want to be in the market. Not necessarily the time frame. So on the here's crude oil on the 15-minute chart just for kicks. It's not okay. So here's a 15-minute chart. Well, how are you going to trade this? Are you going to trade the 15-minute wicks and a contrarian buy limits here for the pullback? Are you going to sell this top for this scalp back to here? Right, it scalps back to here after they trap on the 15 here. Are you going to zoom in your? Are you going to zoom your 15 like this? Now, here's the thing. Crude oil's going up and the dollar's going down. So why is crude going up if this is why correlation doesn't work? Euro's going up against the dollar. Well, crude should be going down, right? That means if the dollar is, I'm sorry, no, that's right. Crude's going up, the dollar's weak. You can't buy as much. Okay, but these don't have to be lockstep. It can invert. Oil's going up. Supposedly, here's the thing. Is it about the dollar index against crude? So yeah, oil's going up, the dollar's weak. But look at this 1 hour drama of range trading the, I don't know if you trade crude, but I don't. You can trade crude. There's no law against it. There's a law against trading gold and silver on a Forex platform. It started in July, like 4 years ago. The United States outlawed gold and silver trading on the platforms. There's another. Well, you knew right there. When they said that, I go, oh, we got a problem. I mean, if you're going to tell me I can't trade gold and silver because we're going to support the dollar here, no, I guess this is the scalpers on this one. They're short on that 1 hour. So if you're going to trade the 1 hour chart, how are you going to trade it? Now, you could trade it from a breakout standpoint. This is where it's complicated. Are you doing a breakout? I find a narrow range. I put a buy stop and a sell stop. I get triggered to the south side just by default. No fills on the buy side. Okay, breakout strategy on the 1 hour. Are you looking at every bar? Is a robot doing it for you? Can you see the trap down here where you get trapped in new lows? Are you saying, look at how screaming up here we are? I'm going to put sell limits on the I should have sell limits on the pound right now, sell limits on the euro. I should have sell limits up here right now, obviously, right? anything beyond this, and aggressively speaking, I'm already short from this top. I'm underwater. But will I sell this is a 20 pip grid I think I got here. This is a 25 pip grid. So am I going to sell this window? Well, yeah, I would put sell, like a scalp orientated sell bank in there. Would you look at the weekly British pound? It looks like, wow, you should have sold. Yeah, but if you look at the 1 hour, you're like, you should have bought, right? So you should have bought. So the time frame, if you have a strict mechanical trading system that trades breakouts, you can see how you got kind of chopped to death. Now, psychologically, it'd be very demanding. This is the 1 hour British pound. If you were to, and this is how people usually approach this in a scientific manner, I back tested the breakout system on the 5 hour breakout, so made for 5 bars in a narrow range, and I put a buy stop and a sell stop. Okay, that's great, but the question is, did you cash out structurally here? Did you also run the limit thing? So if you're running limits and stops, you have a better chance of making money because you're, it's like Starbucks has the mobile phone order, or you stand in there and wait in line as people go through the drive-through. Like, thank God the girls there have nice physiques, I'll say, because they're usually taking orders from the drive-through people that are in the fucking Starbucks get no respect. I'm standing there in the flesh, and these lazy fucks are coming through in their drive-through cars. They're leased pieces of shit smart cars, and I'm sitting there, not complaining about the view, waiting for them to they don't even say hi. Okay. It's that same guy with the blonde roast. Okay, hook him up, get him the fuck out of here. And so it's just no respect there at Starbucks, but you can see all the people selling into here right now. I mean, all the people that like to sell daringly into new highs and scalping back, right? And for me, I'm going to have, I'm actually underwater in this trade. Look at that. Fuck. I'm rationalizing that trade because I looked at the monthly and I'm like, oh yeah, who's not buying down here? Like, so now the other thing is, look at the time frame here. If I scrunch this down, not to mention the time frame, how about the scaling? Here, if I go, I'm long the British pound here, like, good trade, like that trade. If I look at the daily, I'm like, are you kidding me? You bought into this thing? Okay, so how much punishment can you take? I guess that's my trading course starts off with like electric shock therapy, and I'm like, okay, if you tapped out, okay, you can only trade like this size. This is the ultimate, according to ICT, the ultimate trade entry is the 2-month low. 2 months. These lows are different than these lows, but I'm buying all these lows into here, right? So are you willing to buy these new lows and then really load up and start martingale into this thing as it comes down here? Okay, I put another order in. Okay, I maxed out the account. I have to get out of this trade first. So here's the Australian dollar trade I talked about, and here was the exit. Now this time frame is, I only was able to buy one more ticket here at the market, and this is another one of these. If you look at the 4-hour chart, you lose your mind. I think I made a video saying, put a 20 EMA in this. Let's just put a 20 EMA in here and show you how bad a 20 EMA, your JP Morgan moving average is complete bullshit. So we'll make this 20. It has to be exponential or it just won't work. I realize there's more syllables in exponential, but it's just not gonna help you. And we'll make it I don't know, sky blue. Now you'd almost have to say, well, why don't you just trade a moving average envelope, which would make more sense if your rule was to sell at the edge. Here you would be buying on pullbacks into the 20 EMA and dumping, buy, dump, buy, dump. But you still have to range trade it, right? Buy below the 20 EMA is kind of pointing out. Here you're getting your ass crushed here because the volatility is so high here that even if you sold here, right, the only good entry was here before the crush down. No fill here if you're looking for it to come back to the moving average. You miss out on all this. Then you sell here, and you're like, oh boy, I just blew up the account. Then you buy here, right? Comes back. You even get a top, bottom, and price. Uh-oh, bye-bye. There goes your account. Anybody see that one? You really have to back test this shit. Here's the window of blow your brains out. You got a top, become a bottom, moving average pointing up. Oh, it's just going to keep going up. Let's fucking load the wagon. Uh-oh, got to come back and retest and crush. And this is a 4-hour chart, 4 hours down hard into the low of the week. This is probably either the Wednesday swap or news. Then the final rape scene is here. And I only pulled off this 2K here because I happen to have an open ticket. But I'm holding on stubbornly to this swing trade. And look at how all in one day on a Friday, you could have placed all your fucking orders at this double bottom. This is just kills me about these markets and kind of made me pissed off when I first discovered this phenomena that when it goes to makes new lows here, and of course I already can see my exit here. So even that the market is trading up here, at the point the market's up here, I can still be placing these orders here, and I get my face ripped off here buying these lows, but eventually, with a wide enough stop, it comes back to break even. I can dump at the 20 EMA. And, okay, so the 20 EMA on the 4-hour chart, you're not going to overtrade it, but how do you explain this shit back here? Well, this is when you use the 50 EMA. Don't you understand it? I've been through this. Trust me, I've been through this. Well, this works really good here on a 50 EMA because it'll smooth out all that noise, and I'd probably get filled on a I could just put a 50 up there and show you. I could put the double 20, I could put a 40 EMA, and I bet you it's got a better sell signal here. Go figure, right? Insert winning moving average, I say. And I can curve fit my trade plan to fit. I'm sure this is no surprise to anybody. As they dive into trying to tweak and ultimately get the ultimate trade entry. How brutal this idea of doing this, make it a little skinnier, try to differentiate. Oh, much better. I like this. Oh yeah, it's better. I better gauge a trend here. Yeah, sell in there, sell there. Oh yeah, oh much better. Now when you switch time frame, speaking about time frame, I love that. How does it work on the 4-hour? Oof, issues on the 4-hour, big fucking mess. On the daily, love it. That's why you use the 100 period moving average. Man, don't you understand anything about moving averages? The 100's going to be way better. Oh, that's what I'll do. I'll change it to 100. You're right. Fuck was I thinking? You can see how this is about. Why not 80? Be that weird guy. I run the 80 moving averages. That's my secret. See, now it doesn't even come, but you're still in a downtrend because the 20's below the 80. I'm always on the short side of these markets, is what I do. See, I use moving average crossover as a filter. Okay, how about this? Well, I don't want to talk about that. I mean, okay, this is a problem. I went long, and lo and behold, I added to my winners, and next thing you know, I'm down here getting my fucking ass blown up, and look at all this fucking noise. Well, it just takes a while to learn the moving average system. I don't even know why you're getting all angry. I add Fibonacci to this, and it filters it right out, cleans it right up. I make money all the time, all day. 5-minute chart, like I say, if you're going to run the 20 EMA and the 80, 5-minute chart's the place to go. Now, this is more like VWAP now. And I can get behind this trade here. Come back, got a nice top bottom, got moving averages in our face. But how much of this are you willing to endure before, okay, breaks out, you got a beautiful top, become a bottom on the 5. Look at this fucking beautiful entry. Oh my, it just doesn't get any better. In fact, I went long here on this crossover. This is the first crossover. See, the filter's bigger. You couldn't take advantage of, you could take advantage of this sell, I suppose, but I'm almost thinking that I'd rather buy here at new lows. And okay, I can see that, but this probably won't trend down forever. And look at this brutality here. Now, if you told a robot to trade the crossover, how's he doing during this phase? He's blowing himself up. And also, you'd have to have targets that are so broad here that if it's designed to just scalp partially, if it's in scalp mode, it's going to miss out on this huge rally. And the dollar's just getting crushed right now. Every currency is going ballistic against the dollar. The dollar's going ballistic against the CAD. What the fuck's with the Bitcoin? Look at the Bitcoin stalled out here, dead in the water. Dollar Swiss, because that's the 30-minute. But see, here's my buy new low. Now you'd say, well, okay, on this time frame, are you placing orders to buy that new low, and you would have had the scalp out by now on something? Right, because this is going to be where, what if this thing engulfs, and then you see, well, that means the pound's got to pull back, and the party's over here, which they've already come off of this top here. There's a big fight been going on here all morning here. The line of scrimmage here, if I mark off this 1, 2, 3, this is the 20-hour top. Now they could just be done. That could be it. And then we just drip down and make new lows. We can't draw a strict trend line here yet. Only on the 30-minute. The 15. You could have drawn a trend line on the 15. Because you actually have a pullback. Right. So all the trend traders can jump on that shit. I've been reading the comments here. So, the nice thing about Oanda, even though the spread sucks dick, you can trade nano lots, and you can, you have a little first in, first out thing, but if you plan it out in advance, you can do it. Yeah, no, it's funny. You could walk away from these goober entries. You could put a buy stop at something and just wake up and that account's making money. Yeah, you can go. I can rewrite the scripts to fit a first in, first out scenario in a way, because I can make it so that the first ticket that fills, say if I put a buy limit bank in, I write it like, you have to pay attention to that. It's a lot of work. So if this is a buying 11.1 pips deep for 2 hours in a 10K, or it could be whatever. As long as this stop and this take profit are going to be realized before we fill this one, I can make this stop. So inside, in other words, this would be so that I can launch all 4 tickets like this in one script. This would have to get stopped out or win. So this would have to be a deeper order by this much here. So I'd have to buy at 14 pips deep. It's just that it's less flexible. Now you've really got to think about each one of these trades now. And if the market plunges lower than 12.8 pips, it's going to blow that ticket out. And if it can keep tanking in 2 hours, you would get filled on this. You can lay a whole grid in there that is first in, first out, because it would take this one out and then you're flat. And this is the government's attempt to try to protect you from yourself by giving you just one pair of scissors to run with at a time. And they're saying, well, what we're going to do here is we're just make it so first in, first out. You have to clear your books because you're such a fucking idiot. You got all these pending. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You have too much leverage. You're losing money, and your wife is ready to divorce you. And we can't have that because we need the income. We need the tax revenue. Until you're in divorce court. It's going to be a very cold Christmas for you kids. Daddy's trading Forex again. I have these switched off now. I can take away these 2 forward slashes and bring this one on. And it's a lot of scripts I wrote. Instead of deleting these, I just turn the switch off so I can create a huge. But yeah, you can do it, and you can also make it so that even if these are overlapping, you're willing to take the risk of the broker's not going to let you out of anything until, in other words, you've put a master stop in here. So if the market plunges in these tickets, it would stack everything up, and you realize that they're not going to let you out of that top ticket, but they will, because you know that's the first in, because it's the top of the stack. And if it's a buy limit, your take profit is very small here. It's not a big take profit. This is a very tight stop. Very high probability getting stopped out on that. This is just the ratio on this one ticket alone. So you can write these elaborate scripts and launch them from multiple devices. And some of this stuff you would just hand place. Now these are double clicks that are just hard coded. But if you're placing single drops and you are trading at Oanda or whatever the fuck it's called out of Canada, and you could do that, you know, it's more leverage than, I can't believe I'm saying this, more leverage than the Europeans. Who saw that coming? Fuck, if anybody predicted that. Of course, you can predict the end of the world's coming all day wrong. Yeah, Dodd-Frank looks like fucking, they look like they're all fucking juiced up now. They're 20 more leverage points over the Europeans that are like, now they're, talk about Brexit, now they're all just in the gulag. They're all just looking at the shadows on the wall, previous glory days. I'm saying they invert the leverage so that you have to have like $2,000 in your account to trade a 1K is coming. That's called the bail-in. Does anybody remember I watched YouTube for too long, but these catchphrases, these memes like, the bail-in's coming. Oh no. And this is when you see the X-22 reports and all this shit. It's fucking hilarious. The end of the world's coming. Yeah, the end of the world's always coming. Especially the Bible thumper, right? Come to church. You don't want to go to hell, do you? Well, fuck no. Are you kidding? Because I want to go to hell and hang out with all the hookers that died of an overdose. Honey, I can rescue you. Come here, babe. Do you like inappropriate jazz songs? This is what the guitar really sounds like. And then there's my cloud trading. I love cloud trading here. I got ramped up. Here's my cloud system that somebody made a bunch of money on. I mean, this has got a nice simple rule set. Okay. This is I don't think I duplicated any instruments here, but time frames aren't exactly synced up properly. I'm going to make them all dailies. And here's a system you could run where you just don't have to think too much. It takes the stinking out of thinking. And daily cloud trading. I call this is like a 4-period moving average. I'm still going to use the same tactics of like, wow, this is extremely punished. Maybe I should buy that. Or I could sell into the blue cloud. Any rally into the line, the closing prices. But I could buy here as we come back into the moving average. I like this kind of a tight cloud. Now this is a series of smooth Dakanashis. It's kind of ridiculously elaborate. In my dream, I would have a robot that would acknowledge all these colors and the size of them and do certain things. You get these really cool looking hammers here, and you can see I trust the closing prices on top of that. And here, I think I would hunt for the time frame. And you can see the problem here with the low time frame here. It looks pretty on the monthly. You can see these glorious cherry-picked entries here. It comes back. Pull back. You're buying into that blue. And now all monthly charts look glorious because there's no noise. I got a 20 pip grid on there so you can see the amount of how tight your stop needs to be on the monthly. And you can just look at this every month and be like, oh, I only trade once a month. Look at the guppy. It just blows up the whole indicator because the volatility is so high on that. Something's wrong here. Is this wrong? No, it's 20 pips. Something's left over on that. That's not right. It's like blocked out. I guess it just shows you how many pips it is, because if you do scrunch this down, it's going to go black. If that's 20 pips, that's right. So on the weekly, so you see the volatility in New Zealand is not as much. I used to switch currencies without regard to pips, and I couldn't understand why I was making money and losing money, because I thought, oh, how much different can this market be than that market? But if you put a 20 pip grid on there and you put the weeklies up, you're like, oh, I see. It's very, and this is another thing, time frame for range. If you're going to do daily with a 20 pip grid, it's a different world than the 4 hour. So this makes a difference too. And the daily, wow, look at this thing. Oh, this is not the right zoom level here. So here's a perfect setup in a way. Blue means you'd sell, rallies into the blue. And you got a structure entry here. You got this bottom, become a top into the cloud. You sell that. So now, it doesn't always work, because what if you sold all these with that same criteria? So back testing's nonsense without the targets being different. Sure, great entry here, great entry. And then it just, like if you stuck with that, they eventually crush you. So if you're going to buy into this blue for dead cat bounces, and realizing that what's really going on here with or without the cloud is, once it dips into this window, then you could say, oh, I'm buying here in a trend trade thing because I'm buying pullbacks into the cloud. Okay, that's great. But it doesn't mean that you couldn't have bought here and then added there. So maybe you add when you get confirmation free moving averages. This doesn't have to be an all or nothing situation, but you would think so, because look at this glorious entry here. A top bottom with the 4 period confirming right there. I can't paint on the screen in this. OBS doesn't let me paint. There. And this is supposed to be the double top that's going to hold here. You got to get dead cap bounce there, and then all bets are off. This is pound CAD. Most of these markets are the same. The white is the actual price. Wait, okay, I'm pretty sure that's the actual price. We have the chart on foreground to get it to show up as confirmed. That's the actual price. So I'll force it to chart on top. Yeah, that's the actual price. So if you see the white is the actual wick. Whereas you can't see that's the actual price poking out of the cloud. Now this is very elaborate. I spent a lot of time. I think I had some too much meth or something. I spent a lot of time on this, looking at the how many indicators I layered, and I wrote all these colors. I just had an immense amount of time about 7 years ago, and I just drilled down too hard on this, I think. My list includes stuff like okay, why don't I see my indicator list here? This is the 1, 2, 3, 4 period. That's just another. It only goes to a 3 period moving average. 3 Hakanashi stacked. Moving average on top. 20 pip grid. And the bar is like the big. See, this is the white one. That's all white. And that is just literally literally just the bar in white. And then here you have I was trying to make a 3D chart. That was my goal. And it comes from the idea of, I ran paint bars at TradeStation, and I had a theory or a system I wanted to build where you pulled the trigger based on the color of the current bar. Doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be like that. So yeah, right, yeah, no, that's, I put the one in the last video, which is the scripts I ran in there, and I just dated it. There's a hodgepodge of stuff in there. Yeah, so you're stacking up sell stops and buy stops. I typically would do that when the market gets quiet. When the market looks like, okay, so London's closed, and we're kind of the drama's over. Here we have a quadruple bottom or something here, triple bottom on the daily euro, you could say, and we're right at the bottom. We're in the bilge here, and I would say the scalper's delight is to come back and to be long here and waiting to cash out and maybe cash out of something. But, it's Friday, so it's kind of over. When it's over. And I can see here that, of course, I'm always bullish, but I'm a contrarian too here. I'd be holding half of that position on this particular thing. This looks like a killer buy here from a pullback standpoint. This looks like it can melt down into the hole. So the problem with the euro to the Australian is that, yeah, it could rally into this and you'd be selling into that. And the bigger picture, the weekly is like, oh my God, we fall through this hole here, we'd start crushing into this high probability. We've dipped into it right now. This is the claim that is not a fake breakout. That's not a trap. That's actually going to melt down now. Yeah. Right, and you could trade Bitcoin on the weekends if you're really strung out to trade. If you're a tradeaholic or something like that, it could happen. Pound New Zealand. I was short on this thing actually, up into this rally here. Pound New Zealand's Pound New Zealand's crazy. Look at this. Look at this rip off the top here. It would take some balls and a lot of pips. This is look at this, 100 pips on those black lines. That's a big mover. That's a big mover there. That is the monthly chart, though. Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah, there's their tether spike there they're talking about. Look how dead in the water this puppy is. Bitcoin is just, the daily is about, of course, the time frame. Another thing about time frame is that the market's telling you, dude, you better look at me on the daily because the 4 hour looks like a train wreck of noise. So you'd always keep going up to the high. If you want a smooth breakout view of what's really going to explode, and then you'd have, okay, if I'm going to scalp it, look at this. Oil came up here and trapped all these poor idiots. And the bears are making so much money here. This could be where we just keep tanking on crude. So look at this trap. Today was the day, and of course Friday, you're just coming into the end of the month here. A lot of people can close stuff out on the Friday. A lot of people want to hold stuff on the weekend. And this is kind of a short week. Oh, here we go. So they stop hunted all these poor idiots on the 15. Here we go. We're going to finally blow through on the top here on the get some follow through here back into the floor here on the British pound finally. And they would have filled my orders here if they're still pending, which I don't know. Here comes the euro screaming back. So I got filled on these British pounds while I was. Another thing is that if you're going to run stuff and you're going to trade more than one currency, it's hard to keep track of everything all at once, like spinning plates. I do think we're going to crush up here. London's 12:30. There's a lot of drama at 12:30. I don't know what's going on, but Look how they came back and crushed out that wick on the half hour. Now we're just going to cut through hard. Pop. Just pop that thing up. And they're going to come after this. I figure the sellers, I'm going to cash out into there. Actually, this is scaling out. And that was hard written into the script. Okay. You'll see a lot of action right here as we cut through. First, you'll see it pop and then rip back. Scalpers, and then people probably gush into it. This is the 20-yard line, 20-pip handle here. 5 pips away. There she goes. Pretty high drama punch there. We're cashing out into that. And since I'm out of something, I could throw some sell limits in here. That's just pre-programmed bullshit there. It just so happens to come in at that one price. Okay, so I'm hopefully, and I could also hit the take all profits key here. So let me just do that. Okay, so I just went flat. Now what I do, come in with the buy limits again. I think I freed up some. There you go. So this other thing is that I'm really happy to dump and reload. I'm not an investor. And I can also put in the sell limits again above here. Oh, ran out of tickets. I have to scooch up my limits now, like I did earlier, chasing on trailing limits. Oops. Oh, so sorry, can't move order. I need some Asian girl to, you will move order too far. Oof. But I like being flat and slightly up, I think, for the day here. It's a lot to pay attention to here, all this cloud trading for me. Thank you very much. What else we got? Yeah, British pound. Look at this euro dollar just screaming north. Wow. That did take out the high of the day quite ferociously. I don't know if they can take out the high of yesterday, though. By the end of the day, I'm definitely selling on limits up here. I'd have to say, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, the demos, any broker's got stuff in there. You can run... Yeah, you need live data. You could run the strategy tester and experiment with scenarios. Come up with scenarios that you like. For those Canadian people. What is it? The Park Shop Boys, the guy that was all came up to Alex License and said, Trailer Park Boys, sorry. That's just not enough room in my head for all that bullshit. I got too many Fibonacci retracements in my brain. Just say no to Fibonacci. Right? Okay, so I think the rally's kind of over here for the... no breakout trades here on the half hour. It's just screaming north still. Coming after me. I've been short for like 3 weeks on this. I'm just going to keep trailing I'll let the market decide how much money I'm going to make. Let them stop me out. Now, this is the other thing. Do you let the market... how disciplined a trader here? If you're too disciplined, then you can see that. No, but then, of course, you never want to say... You can still say, I should have stayed in, I should have got out. You're going to realize that if you're really up big, you're like, holy God, maybe I should take something off. And of course, if you trade one position, do you let this thing go forever, right? Yeah, no. Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay, so... you got to get an inspection? Oh, my. Pray tell, what did you do, young man? You must have done something pretty naughty to get an inspection. Is it going to be anal? Body cavity search? We found some pips in your rectum. Son, you've been overtrading, haven't you? I have been. Son, we found some pips in your liver. You've been overtrading, haven't you? These aren't winning pips we found. I like the tick chart, though. If a true sniper runs a tick chart. I've got this is the triple screen trading. Okay, I can put this on the 1 minute chart, 5 minute, and this is the meth mode. 15, 1, 5, 15. Arm your battle stations, prepare to buy. Okay, I'm going to put in my trusty, super tight, psychotic buy limits, 15. At the broker that you're banned from trading at. There she goes. And I'm not even in. I have a market order here. Let me chase it. Boom. Just got in at the market. I knew I should have waited. That's the thing. Do you wait? Or do you pull the trigger? I'm just going to buy more. Fuck them. I buy more limits. So I got, with that double click, I have 2 layers there because I waited a little bit before I pulled the trigger. So I got this layered effect. And these are only 15-minute scripts, so not a lot of exposure. But a little bit of the market. So this all or nothing thinking, I think, is the worst thing. But I've been very susceptible to my whole life because I have 2 things working against me. Well, I guess I'm in recovery. I'm a perfectionist in recovery, plus being stubborn. makes me all or nothing. So I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. But the market made it so that I thought, so it's okay to do goober trade and then do like the sophisticated limit order. It's okay to be trade at the market. It's okay to have some ugly girlfriends. It's okay to have some blind girlfriends. They're like, wow, you feel really handsome. It's okay. I think when you start off, you would say, which book would I read to be the winning trader? And then, of course, you find out you could trade with very little sophistication, I guess, on your gut. Right, gut trading would be considered not very technical. And then there's the fundamental thing, right? Well, they've increased interest. I went long the dollar months ago because can't you see what the Fed's doing? Now, that would also mean that you might need a 350 pip stop. Other than that, right? So, yeah. And I don't know. I always want to do impersonations of like fictitious. Like, did anybody ever see Jonathan Winters? He would just go into these voices of like a cliche version of some guy. I do like the country gay country Forex trader. Let me see here. I like what you got on. Like that trade you put on. That looks like a good trend trade. I'd get behind that. I like where this market's going. We like it when the market goes up. Buying pullbacks. It's going to be a good Christmas, man. We made enough pips here to get some more hookers under the Christmas tree. Okay, I'm cashing out right now. Fuck them. It's going up, but fuck them. You ever get out of a trade, you know it's going to go up? You're like, fuck these assholes. I take my, I'm up like what? Not even up. But, because look at them, watch them pull it back. I'm telling you. Actually, this broker's going to let me, since they don't allow the United States people in here, I can trade the shit out of this demo here. You can't trade here if you're in Europe, though. Jaffix. I was watching all the brothers talking about the demise of Jaffix. Like, you can leave your money in there, you can take it out. Honey, I blew up the account. Seen divorce card. Okay, this looks like a pullback. Let's buy at the market. Load up on the 1 minute chart. Looks like we're going to take out the highs here. I think we make it back. They haven't picked up the car. They haven't repoed the car yet. I put a lien on the car and bought more euro. Okay. I'm up 40 cents. Look at me. I tell you, I can predict the market within like 4.5 pips every 8 minutes. Yeah, I guess it is a waste of time in the fact that you're always trying to read the book to try to make it so that you can make more money. But it turns out that you're up against your fears and hopes and all that stuff every time you put a trade on. But eventually you get callous. You put enough trades on, you just totally callous to the whole idea of trading. Execution becomes kind of like driving a car. You turn right, you turn left, you stop. You know you're burning your brakes out every moment you're driving your car, and you get to replace them, just like, you know, you're cutting through commissions and slippage every time you put in a trade. And there's nothing really that special about I don't know. They do dress trading up in this glorious kind of thing. Here, I'm up 40 cents there. Was this broker just go offline and close? I have this broker does disconnect sometimes. It's funny, they let me run the demo here. Here's the, I'm coming into my sell limits here. Oh, can't run any more of those. So yeah, I'm long into the sell limits. I should probably take off some of these so I can run. Now if I take off these pendings, if that script is still churning, it'll run. No, gotta remove it manually because it's trapped in there. What else we got? I got my cloud trading. Son, you don't understand about cloud trading. We're supposed to go long here on the now you could say the 5-minute chart, but look at how many bad entries with a strict rule system. So you can't see the forest for the trees. I think you still have to be aware of the fact that in this euro dollar, this is a critical area and the last down critical area. So you couldn't be oblivious, I don't think, and be a complete robotic. You know, this is untouched lows there. You just can't be complete. Yeah, you could say, oh, that's buy and pull back into the cloud. Okay, maybe buy one at the market, but I wouldn't. It'd be okay to put a buy limit down there too. What do we got? Because the pound's still pounding north. Okay, now this is definitely going to go. Now this I could claim that this is finally a winning trade. I'm underwater. I think this is a stopless entry here, depending on how I frame the market. Look at that now. Okay, there you go. 12:30. That's the big deal in these markets. 12:30. We just crossed the 12:30. I'll go to the half hour. Look at this thing screaming north. Wow. Amazing. Look at this slow drip down on the daily guppy. Finally making money on this trade. I told you to buy here. Can't you see my moving average system rules? Come on, man. You know the big boys are trading this fucking moving average cross up. Look at this thing going after the highs from Wednesday here. Oh boy. Now, because this market doesn't move a lot of pips, it really looks like it's moving quite a bit. Look at this thing screaming back to life. Full margin, one ticket. That's what I'm talking about. White knuckle trader. Yeah, I mean, that's how you guarantee to blow up an account. They just run out of margin. They just close you out. You can't, you can come back and trade at 10K. They will take you out. That's the nice thing. If you do come in hot with a full lot, they'll take you out. The problem is the problem is a lot of books make up your thinking. Well, that's the problem I had with the book thing, is that I'm not really able to sign on with like I took Scientology, and I didn't know Scientology had this thing with these airplanes in it. And the volcano thing, I bought someone as a kid, so I was curious about, is there a better way to think? Is there a better way to live? And I was always into philosophy, so when I saw this book and I bought Dianetics from the Scientology bookstore, it's hard to believe. I think the smarter you are, the more likely you are to get sucked into. This is another big trap, is that people that are really, well, not everybody, but some people that are intelligent are naive because they think, oh, this is completely viable. And they're not paying attention to the fact that, not that everybody who's teaching something is a scam, or not that all Scientology is not good tools, for life, because I took the communication course. It was the first course in Scientology. And the Dianetics book was cryptic, like reading like a typical philosophy book, and just, I was like, wow, this is okay. Maybe there's something here. And there was a volcano on the cover. It's called Dianetics, and then Dianetics, I never heard of, like a new word. And then when I dived into it, and of course the manipulation. In other words, what if Scientology was really the greatest thing in the world? I still have a hard time signing up for something that somebody else has designed, and maybe that's because I'm just too I want to be myself. I don't want to lose myself in somebody else either. Have you ever been in a relationship with somebody and you become, there's a third person there? It's the combination of both of you. So, also the commitment. This is another big thing that used to turn me off about trading, is that people say in these books, well, you got to make a commitment. I thought, well, I don't want to get committed, and I want to commit. And what if I don't? I don't want to get, so a lot of things come into play psychologically when it comes to trading, and a lot of things that you wouldn't think of could make it difficult for you to accept adopting. Because if you read a book you spent like $100 on, you feel like, oh yeah, I should adopt this thing. This is probably going to work. And then you'd see where the guy cherry picked all the entries, going, this is the way to go. But then you think, but this can't be all of it. And not to mention, what about the times it doesn't work out? Should I have been on the other side of that market? And is there a trade for the other side of that market? Of course, if you're all hell bent on this moving average crossover system I have here with the 80 versus the 20 EMA, that, I mean, you could write a book on this, right? There's been books written on this shit. And you're like, yeah, but what about this? Look how fast this thing, in 4 hours, this thing went ripping north. Are you kidding me? Like, was there a way to make money on that didn't involve the moving average that I'm reading this book about? And at some point, it's going to dawn on you that if you just looked at the raw data and start off with a beginner's mind, like you just came in from another planet, now you're looking at the data, how could you trade it with X amount of volatility risk and stuff like that? Of course, if you're reading, Forex for Dummies or some book on a moving average and it's 150 pages, or you bought a $5,000 course, or you're trading Batwings over there in Power Trading, and you could say, anytime you're making some money, you're like, the system works, you're great. And that's enough for you to get excited. But if you trade long enough, you're going to discover, even if you trade demos for 5 years, you're going to be like, holy shit, this is a fucking mess. And and the mess will get bigger the more you know. The more you know you don't know, and the more you know, the more confused you might get. Like this guy that spent $400 on a course, he goes, it's fucking ridiculous, confused, I can't even finish the course. So overwhelmed by this moving average crossover system, which you could look up all day long on YouTube and see a million motherfuckers posting that, right? Yeah, and then not to mention you're worrying about the big boys the whole time. You're looking at, are the big boys using a 20 versus 80 crossover EMA? And then the price action guys come in, but then they talk about pin bars, which used to blow my mind. Well, what the fuck's a pin bar? Just a bunch of volatility in one bar? My first book was Attacking the Currency Trend. Now, there's funny. This is where you come into this war room mentality. I'm a sniper. I'm attacking Yeah, I hunkered down below the 100-yard line on the pip chart, and I'm like, I got my finger on the trigger. Attacking the Currency Markets by Greg Machakowski. Moving average and fib. Yeah, you throw a fib on here, dude, you lock it in. Higher probability trade, right? Well, what's the higher probability that you get stopped out or take profit is going to determine how tight is your stop and your take profit. There's nothing to do with the probability of the outcome. Yeah, I'm using, it's called bar. So inside that link, there should be, in the MT4 platforms, I call it bar. So if you go to the navigator, I got an indicator here called, and I've tried to run robots and all that stuff. It's just so fucking, that's so much to maintain. So I'm calling it bar. And I have different variations of that. I tried to find the original code of this. Somebody, I don't know if somebody tore it down. Yeah, it's under B's here for bar. But I made it fat. And I had a gray bar and a green bar. I changed the colors. I mess with stuff. But I thought MetaTrader's bars were too wimpy. And here it's set at 6 pixels wide, but the original code was called open, highlight, close on the internet. So that's going to be, I don't know if it still exists. Here, this is supposedly it. I'll put it in the chat thing. This is supposedly, I don't know. It was hard to find because I wanted to fatten that wick up. This guy at Clevesis has a fat wick thing. A video on installing it stuff. I don't know. I keep banging my mic. Bang a gong. Get it on. Look at this thing screaming, but I'm definitely selling here, and I'm cashing out. And look at it's right on that moving average. What can be any better, right? Although it didn't fit the fib handle. So this is another thing is that if you over filter it, you wouldn't take that trade. Look at this beautiful cash out into this. It's a higher high. And I'm going to cash out of this right now, actually. So I'm going to free up some stuff here. Take all these winners off because I overloaded this platform. I'm going to go to close all profits. Double click that. And we should see these tickets disappear. Like you're in Canada. So this is a big trade that I've been in for a long time. I'm finally cashing out. It's taking every winner off the table. Now what I'm going to do is free up margin. I can free up tickets. I'm going to come back in with limits. That's a stop, actually. Now here's a completely different script. That's a stop and a limit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand place limits here. So I don't have it without stops, which I did earlier. So I'll just drew by limits here. They'll good to cancel. These will last forever now. No stop. Okay, I just cashed out of that big, ridiculous position that I got in. Here, I'm still underwater on all these tickets, though, above me, see? So what I did there is I kind of scalped out of that, and I'm going to come in with limits again. Just walk away from that. This one's underwater, but this, again, if I don't have a script, originally, I just traded without stops like this, like Samurai Trader. Just put buy limits in there. Go to next currency, dollar Swiss. Just put sell limits up here. The nice thing with MetaTrader, if you right mouse click, above it's going to put a sell limit in. Here, I'm going to put buy limits in the yen. I missed my entry here on that weekly going down, but here I can just, for all next week, buy limits like this, and then just capture that. This time I don't have to babysit these entries now. Bitcoin is, look at the Bitcoin. What the hell's going to happen here? It's amazing. Total zoom in Bitcoin. It does look like an ultimate buy. In fact, if we start tripping these wicks to the north here. So no volatility. Big triangle in Bitcoin. It can still melt down. Cashed out of this and looking to buy here. So a lot of confirmation. There's another kind of confirmation is buy at the breakout level. Breaks out, pulls back to where it broke out and come in here. This is more like doing a hand placed. So I have these $5 drops inside of the, I just call them $5 because they're risking $5. So here I go like this. Now these do have stops. And if I was flat, which I'm not, I'm still underwater on the top part of this order bank that I got into earlier. So what I'd do is I'd go to the market's going to close pretty soon. Not much left here, but I would scalp maybe here, come in, buy limits. And I don't want to duplicate the entries or defeat the purpose of like scaling it, I think. That's going to look like one big ticket here, but if I stretch it, I'm going to get this diversification of price entry. Here again, I like the idea of buying at the breakout point around it somewhere. You can play some on fib handles, but I think it's just going to limit the canvassing. This is a wackadoodle currency pair, the euro versus the pound. Sell limit here, sell limit, buy limit, buy limit. It's just a nice feeling to throw these orders in and just not have to worry about it. Be like, oh, I'd buy down here. Okay. And just go about your business. But look at this thing screaming north. Sell limits here. And these will last all day. The other ones last forever. Until the broker goes out of business. So crude oil backed off here. I think crude oil's doomed now. I think gold's doomed. Here's the gold market. So I'd be selling that right now at the end of the month. Look at this thing marching north on the weekly gold. The daily gold. I think the scalpers have had their fun off this. They're not making a lot of money, but if you sold up into there somewhere with a stop that didn't stop you out. Right? Come on, Ben.
Now, once again, 5 evens do trade here. You're going to get a new 5 even offer comes in. 4 evens are trading here now. 3 evens are trading here now. 3 even here now. You're going to get a low print of 11.03 even. Guys, 2 half offer. 2 evens are trading here now. Once again, I'm offered at 3 even here now. 2 half, but I'm at 3 half. 3.
Come on, Ben. Where'd you go, buddy? Come on, bring it back.
For here, guys. All evens are trading. The figure prints are trading. 9 halves are trading here now. Once again, we got figure trade here now. Once again, we are trading 1,100 even. Guys, we are 64 handles lower on the day here now, guys. 9.
Come on, Ben. Where'd you go, buddy? Come on.
Halves trade. 9 even offer comes in here now, guys. Once again, 9 evens are trading here now, guys. Offered at a figure here, guys. Once again, 9 evens are 10.53. Once again, 8 evens trade. 98 even bid at O even here, guys. Once again, 8 even bid at O even. That's a 98 even bid. 98s are trading here now. 97 halves are trading here now. Once again, 97 evens are trading here, guys.
Poor Ben. He's giddy.
96 halves trade. 96 evens trade. 94 evens are trading. 94 evens are trading here now, guys. Once again, 4 half offer, 4 even offer, 3 halves do trade. 93 evens are trading. 92 evens are trading here now, guys. 91 evens are trading. 89s are trading. 88 halves are trading. 87 evens are trading. 86 evens are trading.
This is beautiful, yeah. Here's the chart, so here's what he's looking at. I don't think he's looking at the chart, but he's looking at the quotes. Ben, go Ben. Ben nails it.
Trading. 94 evens are trading here now, guys. Once again, 4.5 offer, 4 even offer, 3 halves do trade. 93 evens are trading. 92 evens are trading here now, guys. 91 evens are trading. 89s are trading. 88 halves are trading. 87 evens are trading. 86 evens are trading. 85 evens are trading here now, guys. All the way down. 84 evens are trading here now, guys. 82 evens are trading. Paper comes in a big seller. 81 evens are trading here now, guys. 79s are trading.
That is the best. Right there. It's the first time. The only time he goes for that high-pitched solo.
Comes in a big seller. 81 evens are trading here now.
Wait for it.
Okay, 79s are trading.
Anyways, so I'm going to close out with Ben Lichtenstein here. I got to go get some food.
79s trading here now. Once again, 78s are trading. 6s are trading. 76 evens are trading here now, guys. 75 evens are trading. 4 evens. 3 evens are trading here. 2 evens are trading. 72 evens just traded. Once again, guys, we have a big time even bid here now, guys. 72 even offer. 68 evens are trading. Guys, 70 even bid here now. Once again, 70 evens trade. 71 even bid here now with the 72 evens are trading.
Ben?
Guys, 70 offer here. Offer that 70 even offer here now, guys. Once again, 70 even offer. 65 even offer here now, guys. Once again. Offer that 72.
Do I call Alan yet?
Offer that 70, 60 even bid at 70 even offer here now, guys. 60 even bid at 70 even offer here now, guys. 60 even bid. Guys, 60 even bid here now, guys. This is the widest we have seen us in years. 60 even.
Call Alan.
I got 64 evens trading.
Okay, we're getting ready to call Alan.
72
even offer. He doesn't call Alan here until here.
85 even bid.
Call Alan.
87 even bid. No
Oh, this
offers in the
pullback.
pit here. 91 even bid. No offers in the pit. 92 even. They just traded the figure. Once again, they're trying to get a figure print in here. 12 handles above the last print.
Call Alan.
94 even bid here now, guys. And at 95 here now. Once again, 94 even bid.
This pullback.
Guys, 98 evens just traded there, guys. Once again, they're going to try and get the print in all the way up to 98 even there, guys. 91 even bid. 91 even bid out of that 95 even offer here now. Once again, 91 even bid here. Call Allen. 91 even bid. 95 evens do trade. 95 evens do trade. Tell him we made it down to 1060. 90 even trading.
Better tell his
86
wife.
evens are trading. 84 evens are trading. 86 even bid at 95 even offer here. We're 10 handles wide. 85 even bid at 95 even offer. Once again, we are 10 handles wide. 88 even bid here on 2 even offer. Once again, I'm at 88 even bid here now. 92 evens are trading here now. Once again, 92 evens do trade. 90 even bid here now. And I'm at 92 even offer here now. Once again, 90 even bid here now. 91 even bid here now. Once again, I'm offered at 92. 90 even bid
Recent
here now,
polls have
guys.
shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help.
Jesus, you can move me average crossover with a Fibonacci on this answer. It's just so adorable.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that
I love the, everywhere such as that filler stuff to kind of keep, like, the audience from yelling at you. In other words, the stalling tactics of like whatever, such as, well, let's take a look at the Fibonacci retracement, so to speak. I mean, such as
U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation.
Some people out there, those motherfuckers out there, well, get a load of this girl. I mean, is she just like a cupcake? This is, I mean, if you're this hot looking, does it affect your mind?
Don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and
notice this shoulder roll on the such as. Check out this body language. She rolls it back a little bit here.
South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should.
Oh wait, I missed. There's two such as's.
Everywhere like such as, and I believe
Oh
that
fuck,
our
I missed it. Wait.
education, like such as in South.
Oh, such as in. So here's where she, such as in South Africa, she's really gonna she's bracing for what she's gonna say there.
That our education, like such as in South Africa and
Wow, she really was holding up that South Africa. She had that on deck. A South Africa comment. She had that on deck, queued, ready to launch. So that's why body language says to me that she was. Well, I think I got that. I was holding that in context this whole time. Bitching to say South Africa. Somehow weasel that word in there. The country.
Such as in South Africa and
there, you nailed it, honey. You're good to go. You're halfway through the answer.
Everywhere like such as, and I believe that they.
And then she went for a thought there and closed her eyes. She's like, I mean, it takes some guts to get up there. And she's got the interesting glitter dress.
Should our education over here in the U.S. should.
Oh, she's from South Africa. Maybe that's why. It said S.O. South Carolina. South Africa. She feels like it's a twin city thing. They're both South Africa, South Carolina. What's the difference? I mean, come on.
Help the U.S. or should help South Africa.
Oh, help the South Carolinians. It's just, it just doesn't get any better. I mean, the market's good, but why are you trading the market? It's to find a hot girl like this that can't answer a question about some virtuous signaling question.
It should help the Iraq and the Asian countries.
Bing. You just won, honey.
So we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much.
And he's like, well, ever the gentleman. Thank you very much. Didn't understand a fucking word you just said, but you know, hey, look at you. Oh, well, look at the record price drop. Oh, I let Ben go. I muted. Oh, look at this is a problem. Now look at this, the old-fashioned traders here. Oh boy, what is he saying? Where's all the hot girls? Why is it that, yeah, I guess it's a different world for guys. They're trading. These girls are trying to answer questions. Anyways. So I'm going to go get some grub there. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry about that. There's no audio in the beginning, but I had more viewers in the beginning with no audio. Apparently, it's more intriguing without video. Anyways. Yeah. Make trading great again for the girls again, right? Yeah, see, now these people are intelligent and ugly. This is what you'd expect. Right, this is what you'd expect. Look at him crush this thing all the way back to the starting gate. Oh, look at that. Sellers came in up there. Go figure, huh? Anyways. So, yeah, I'm going to go into my... it's going to be 1 o'clock, and it's pretty much over. I don't know. I've been on here for 3 hours and 40 minutes. So, of course, the first 40 minutes, I think it's like silent. Technical issues. Okay, so good luck with that. And go back to the full upright position for takeoff now. As we close out the hour. The Friendly Giant. Anybody into the Friendly Giant? I don't know if he's... I think I can't put up anything. I'm going to get... copyright infringements. I try to do that, actually. Everything's been mulled over, and people have dug into the archives and bought up the copyrights on all the fun stuff. So I guess Ben has not been. Ben is still open source, apparently, the sell-off. So next week, look at this deep dive on the 5-minute euro coming to my limits. Go figure. Should have sold up there. I told you, should have sold up there. Have a nice weekend. Good luck with that. All the fun. And until we